am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Tricknick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Tricknick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Watch out, people. Watch out. Me get my jersey already. So you know it's like Ali Cup up. Ali Cup is not a Folly Cup. August 12 and 13, 137 Mountain View Avenue. You know, it's an Excel headquarters that. That one there go loud, it's a pro. So come bust the crowd and the cloud, because we got have fun. Yo, hear me now. If you now do the right thing, you are do the wrong thing. From you are do the wrong thing, you are going to get a spanking. Camp out with football, samba, now the ranking. Chris, if you push the boy them off of the gully banking, rise up in the morning. Father God, me have to thank him. Praise the most high before me get me there cranking. It's all about Ali Cup. August 12 and 13, Delaware School Darcy to the fullest. So be there. Remember, Aggie Animal, striving for excellence. Mad.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. And this is Mornings Man. And we are back with a big one. It is our first EPL review show of the new EPL season. Yes, people, we're going to talk some EPL football. I hope you're ready for this one. All you fans out there of your clubs, you will be allowed to call in. As if you look at the banner, you will see the topics that we will be covering, so you can, answer those questions by calling in. But big up to all of you, every single one of you. Everybody doing well? Big up the person. Big up Fresh God. Conrad Simit, bless up yourself. Chris Roman. Yeah, man. Michael. Jarvis. Bless up. Blue Heart in the building. All right, for some of you who missed it, today we did our top 10 sporting school in Jamaica, So if you missed that, you need to go back and check it. You understand me? Yeah. You need to go back and check it out and watch it. That was a good video today. We did our top 10 sporting school across Jamaica from the 70s to the time we are in now, which is 2022. Hope you also had a wonderful day. Listen, we are alive, So in spite of all the negatives, in spite of all the bad stuff, we are alive. And so we give thanks for life and life more abundantly. So bless up. Jarvis, yeah, we need to link up, because I'm cutting out on Wednesday, Yeah, so yeah, we have to link up. It has to be tomorrow. You understand me? So I don't know, but we have to make it happen tomorrow, So just shout me, and then we make something work. You understand me? Because I'm washing out a year on Wednesday, my friend. You understand me? So make sure that you shout me tomorrow, Jarvis, and we can. You understand me? You don't know we can make the thing go on, because we're close by. We're not there too far. We're there right there. You understand me? You know it go already. People, big up yourself. Come on to the stream, like the stream, share the stream. And if you have not yet subscribe to the stream. Some of the people them now move right in, cause watch there's a lot of work the vloggers them do, to put info out there, and people them sometimes them don't want to subscribe, them don't want like. It's like them carry personal feelings against the vloggers them, but them watch the content. I understand the people them support the vloggers them, man. Come on, people, man, support the vloggers them, man. Support the vloggers them. Like the stream and support the youth them. Bust the youth them, man. Don't fight the youth them. Don't hold the youth them. Don't restrict the youth them, man. Bust the youth them, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's what we need to do. Big up Rich Pooh Sports in the building. The unreasonable boss or the reason boss? Which one it is? The reason boss out of England or the unreasonable boss? Which one it is? Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah, so we're going to talk some EPL. You see that? How did your team fare this weekend in the EPL? We have, we're going to have some guests coming on. So we're going to have them soon to talk about their own team performance and expectation. What did they see after this first weekend? Maybe there's not much for you to talk about, but we're going to discuss that. All right. So, yeah, man, hope that everybody doing well. We're going to jump into our discussion in a few seconds, like right about now. All right, so bless up again. Welcome to the channel. EPL, we're talking. We had some Jamaicans out there, but tomorrow we're going to have our track and field show with Pioneer. We had some Jamaican, Shelley and Fraser Price. We had Rashid Broadbell running, Rochelle Clayton, all of these. So we're going to talk about that on our show tomorrow, and how, Sarah McLaughlin, how she, did stuff and match up the track. You understand me? Vassal Reynolds, for those of you who don't know, he has been appointed the assistant to the interim coach. The interim coach for the senior team, and the interim coach is Meron Garden, and this is for the tour of Austria. Will be playing Ghana, Morocco, and Qatar in a tournament, predominantly local-based players. I know that Adrian Mariappa will be a part of the squad. Venton Evans, who I think is over there in the MLS, I think he's going to be a part of it. So there will be a few players, overseas players in the team. So yeah, that sounds good, You understand me? Yeah, man. So looking forward to the youngsters getting an opportunity to play in this, I call it nothing tournament really, except for money into the coffers of the federation, which is always good that them have money, can pay off some of the bills that they have out there outstanding. All right. So the EPL season got going on Friday. Friday was the first match day of the EPL season, right? And that match day started out with Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. That was the first game. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. But I know you know that I support Arsenal. So Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. All right. That was the first game. It was played on Friday. And the result, very simple. Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. Gabriel Martinelli scored for Arsenal in the 20th minute, and Guy scored an own goal from a cross from Saka in the 85th minute. The stats are kind of similar. Both teams had 10 shots. 2 on target for Arsenal, 2 on target for Crystal Palace. They completed more passes than Arsenal and ended up with 57% of the possession. Arsenal had 43. But this game was played at Selhurst Park, which is the home ground for Crystal Palace. Now, if you had been listening to the build-up to the game, though the Arsenal fans were pretty confident, the media, the British media, they were making a big deal because they were just gearing up. Like the whole lead up to the game is how Arsenal is going to lose the game. And it's going to be, discounting their preseason form. But at the beginning of that game, Arsenal was extremely dominant. They controlled, I would say, the entire first half and could have been up. I know Crystal Palace, Eduardo had a header that he could have scored, that Ramsdale made a brilliant save. But by that time, Arsenal could have been up by like 3 goals. I think Martinelli missed an easy one that Gabriel Jesus gave him that should have been scored. So that happened, and then the second half, Crystal Palace kind of came into the game. But you also know that when you're playing away from home and you're leading a game, there's a propensity for you to manage the game. And I think that worked against Arsenal in the second half, and Crystal Palace got into the game. They got one opportunity. Eze, the number 10, who was a very good player. He should have scored, but Ramsdale made a very good save. But Odegaard had some chances as well. So I just think in the balance of play, deserving win for Arsenal. So they kicked off the season. Good game. I don't think it was the best game of the weekend, but it was a very, very good game. All right, so that's Friday. Now, the second game was the early game on Saturday morning. That was the Liverpool versus Fulham game. Liverpool versus Fulham at Craven Cottage. Of course, you'd have heard that at the end of the game, Jurgen Klopp, who is the coach of Liverpool, he did say the field was dry. Fulham, kind of put out some video of them watering the ground before it was played on, saying it was lush and things. So I think they're trying to discount what Jurgen Klopp said. All right, so Liverpool started the game. Before I get into the start of the game, let's look at the Cranky, I don't understand, Cranky. I'm trying to call it Cranky. People, Cranky has boycotted the show, people. He's on boycott just because I sent his salary by 20 cents less. He has boycotted the show. You understand me? You see how these millionaires operate? These millionaires, they boycott the show for 20 cents. You understand me? Or 20 cents. So, yeah. So, the Liverpool game, I think, let me just get this. Big up Fresh God. Palace is a very good team, and glad we won, but wasn't overly impressed with our performance. Yeah, I think it was good first half, average second half. But again, I think sometimes first games are very difficult away from home against a team that we lost to last season 3-0 at their home ground, and at the Emirates it was a late equalizer by Alexander Lacazette, who's no longer at the club, that helped us to secure a point in that game. So you have that to look at, and then when you consider that, you'd think like, okay, team came out first game, and so I think Arsenal did well enough. So the second game, well, Arsenal new signings, both of them started. Zivchenko started at left back, Tierney came in off the bench, and also Gabriel Jesus started. So both signings for Arsenal started the game, which was good to see. Now, Liverpool also played against Fulham. That was their first game, the early game. And kind of funny because Darwin Núñez didn't start for Liverpool. They actually started with Luis Diaz, Firmino, and Salah, and then Alcantara, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent Alexander, and Alisson in goal. While Fulham started with Rodak in goal. They didn't play Burnley now, who is one of their new signings. They had Tete, Adarabayo, Ream, Robinson, the American at left back. They had Reed in midfield with Paulina. They have Kebano, Pereira, and Bobby Reed, the Jamaican, with Mitrovic up front. All right, so that's the team that Fulham started. Now, this is a very interesting game because I think let me just tell you how the game went first. Big up, Tread Right, man from out west. Bless up. bless up the whole of Savino. You understand me? Yeah, man. So Fulham actually took the lead, Fulham scored in the 32nd minute through Mitrovic. Many people blame Trent Alexander for that because they said that Mitrovic leaped above him and headed the ball. But I don't think he realized the person who was supposed to track him, because Trent wasn't supposed to be tracking Mitrovic. The person who was tracking him probably stopped. So he didn't know that he would have had the header. So that's how they conceded the first goal. But Liverpool equalized through Darwin Núñez, who came on and he scored for Liverpool, equalized, and then in the 72nd minute, Fulham again went ahead. Penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. VAR said it was, confirmed the referee's decision. They didn't call him over to look. So I think they were pretty certain. But I don't think it was a penalty. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I don't think it was a penalty. And then Salah equalized for Liverpool late in the game in the 80th minute. And so both teams sharing the points there. Liverpool only had 11 shots. Fulham had 9. Fulham had 3 on target. Liverpool 4 on target. But Liverpool had the lion's share of possession. They had 67% to Fulham 33%. We should be having some Liverpool persons coming onto the stream to share their thoughts. All right, so that's Liverpool. All right, so then we had the group of games, which were the later games. Bournemouth, they defeated Aston Villa by 2-0. Right, goal scored by Lerma in the 2nd minute, and also in the 8th minute, Moore scored for Bournemouth, the promoted team, at home, defeating Aston Villa, who Leon Bailey actually played the entire game. We have the representative from the Arsenal Football Club here who
Nice, man. I just spread rumor about me. Sure. Yeah. You know we have different timelines, right? Where you are is what, 8:45? And I know I have to get 4:30 to go to work in the morning. I don't have your flexibility.
All right.
Trying to make a living.
I'm gonna have to change the time. I'm gonna have to change the time to earlier so you can. Yeah. But let's go back to your
earlier too. Or season folks call us to go a bit earlier.
Yeah,
so
there you go. All right, so let me go back to your team game. Talk to me. What is your assessment of your Arsenal team? Yeah.
You mean our Arsenal team?
Well, because I'm the host, it's our Arsenal team, but because you're a guest.
Not because you're trying to be independent and trying to suggest there's no conflict. There's conflict involved. We're talking about our team. So look, we won. Certain players distinguished themselves. Crystal Palace are a very good team. Very difficult to play at home. I think this is only your 2nd win in the last 9 games against them. So
yes.
They're a bogey team, but I wasn't totally happy with the performance because if we intend to challenge for the title, and then we're talking about top 4. I don't think Arteta and Edu is thinking top 4. They're thinking they want to beat the boys, who are basically Liverpool and City, then we have to show that we can go away to Crystal Palace and play well and sometimes dominate. And we dominated in the first 15, 20 minutes. But after that, we were running for cover, which I'm not pleased about. But I will say that Jesus, Saliba, Partey had a very, very good game. And Zinchenko for some periods of time, but he got tired. I was taken to the cleaners late in the game. A lot of people are saying Ben White played well. I'm not in the same camp. I thought Zaha had a very good game. I thought he got roasted a number of times. And what people don't realize is that Saliba was covering for him. And so, therefore, if you have that good coverage on the right beside you, it helps to protect some of your weaknesses. But the most important thing is the 3 points.
But the truth in Cranky, Wilfred Zaha didn't create any opportunities for Crystal Palace in the entire game, which is probably an indication that Ben White played well.
That's not true. The ball that Eze got between the lines, one-on-one with Ramsdale, where did that come from?
No, but that wasn't Ben White. That was coming from the inside.
Ben White made a mistake on the left side. Tried to play the ball around the man. We lost the ball. He got switched to the right side. To Zaha, to Eze, and he missed it. Let's go back and watch the game.
No, but it's not. That's not Ben White.
The time he held Zaha, the yellow card, the time Zaha got away and tackled in the box.
That yellow card was bad because I think it was too high up the park. But the fact that he had a yellow card and he still managed to stay on the field up against a Zaha is saying to me.
He's physical, so he's physical with Zaha, right? And doesn't mean he didn't play okay, but I don't think he got rave reviews. Zinchenko got burned second half by a man who's like 30-something years old.
I would have given Ben White a 6.
Yeah, but people were talking like he was an 8. I think when I heard Robbie give him grade, I think he got him give him an 8. I don't know how you get it. No. Look.
I think Granit Xhaka played better than him, and Xhaka is not somebody that I give a lot of props, but he played better than Ben White. So if they give, what would they give Xhaka? Because Xhaka also got a yellow card for diving, though he was saying to the referee, I wasn't trying to dive, I fell over. I wasn't asking.
He wasn't trying to dive, he dove. He wasn't trying, he did dive. I mean, that was very obvious. He wasn't trying to dive. The dive was very obvious. The ball was gone. He took off like he was a swimmer or a diver. He did.
I think like Saka had a poor game and Odegaard had a poor game.
So here's the thing, management. There is an inherent bias by British people, especially like Robbie and AFTV, about English developed players. So Smith Rowe, Saka, all those kids who came to the academy, who they have affiliations with, sometimes they know them and they know their parents. There's a bias towards them. So you can't say they ever have bad games. They will discount the bad games, or they'll say that Saka is being double and triple teamed, as if every winger don't get double teamed at some time during the game. But no, I think Odegaard. Here's the thing, management. Odegaard struggles against very athletic teams that have skill. So he struggled against the Liverpool of the world, the Man Cities of the world, and he struggles against Crystal Palace. That happened the same thing last year.
Yeah, I didn't think he had a good game. I think Martinelli. I think Arsenal still need 3 players.
We need. Well, it's an interesting one. Now Ben White is playing right back, and we have Tomiyasu is playing for the under 21 to get fitness to come back, and we have Cedric. We do have 3, so they won't get another right back, right? Because right now Saliba's got not Ben White. He's no longer the back. He's no longer the right center half. He's going to be a right back until they figure out with him and Tomiyasu. We need a replacement for Xhaka. Xhaka plays well, but he's limited in what he can do. We need another winger because they're not playing Pepe, so we need another winger on the right. So we'll see what happens. But we don't want to talk about Arsenal all night because we can do that.
All right. So I was on to the second game, that Liverpool-Fulham game. Did you see the penalty that Mitrovic won for? I think management showed that energy, effort, athleticism can actually help you in any environment. So the Jamaica football team should take some lessons from this. When you're fit,
when you can run all game, you can actually give your opponents trouble. Versus our West Ham play, which is sit in your box all game, don't do any running, and just soak up pressure, and eventually you break down. Fulham and even Bobby Reid look really good, man.
He really played. Listen, I told people that Bobby Reid nullified a lot of what Robertson would normally do. Andrew Robertson would normally do down that side. Bobby Reid just stood out there like right in front of him, so he had no space to go beyond him, and I think that affected how, because Liverpool people don't realize, Liverpool had 3-4 shots on target for the entire game.
And the goals they gave up, remember, poor goals they gave up. Poor goals were given up by Fulham. Fulham should have won that game. To me, Fulham played well enough to win. They were up 1-0, they were up 2-1. And the goal that Salah scored, the defender who chipped the ball over, the defender went to head it, shouldn't have gone to head it. It fell to Salah, and he tapped it in the goal. So Liverpool could have lost that game.
Yeah. What do you make of? Bobby Reid played well. What do you make of the new signing, Darwin Núñez?
I think he's going to be a handful like Haaland. I think those big, strong, mobile, technical players are difficult to play. I can't wait to see Haaland or Núñez playing against Martinez from Man U. That should be interesting.
You know what I think, though? I think Darwin Núñez is going to have problems with Salah. Because, like, I saw a ball that he had that the normal Liverpool, they would have passed it, and he tried a shot that went wide. And I just think that after a while, they're going to have a problem with that. I think, like, Liverpool don't play that way with a forward trying to kick shots from outside the 18. There's always this build-up play. Get it through Salah, get it across the firm. All of these combination play. And I think it's a different kind of a forward, and I don't know how it's going to work with Salah.
So, my name's man, you adapt to your environment. So here's what, if you notice, when they had Firmino on the field, they created little or nothing. As soon as Núñez came on, he got a chance. Then he scored. Then he had another chance where he tried to pass the ball versus shooting. He's going to be a nightmare for defenders. He's too big, too strong, difficult to mark. Can roll defender. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
He's a very good player.
I'll just run through some of these other fixtures. Aston Villa lost 2-0 to 2-0. Defeated by Bournemouth. Leon Bailey played the entire game. I don't know.
He did?
Yeah, he played the entire game.
I watched some of the game, but I didn't really see him. I didn't know he was on the field.
Yeah, he played the entire game, but I can't say he did a lot. They just never looked. I don't know. Yeah. And then Newcastle.
No, don't go for it. That's just on the Villa game, which is Villa has a lot of good players. I'm not sure they have a good team. So they benched Luiz, who was a starter regularly. They benched Mings, who was the captain. They lose his captaincy, right? They
bench Ali Watkins as well.
Watkins bench, Luiz bench, Mings bench. So something is happening in that environment. I think Gerrard is having some problem with players. They probably have camps there and cliques there. And eventually he's going to get fired. He's going to get better. I think they have won, 10 of their last 28 games? Some ridiculous number, or 12 last 8. The numbers are not good, frankly. The numbers are not good in terms of where they are. They weren't in relegation battle last year, but they have been doing well. And they have American owners, which is private equity, which expect performance. They want the asset to appreciate. They expect to compete. They want to be top 10 and then top 6. If you don't produce, you got to go. So regardless of his playing a career and playing ability, and what he did at Rangers, doesn't matter.
But here's the thing, Cranky. Let me just say this. My observation with Gerrard in this game, right? So I think how Gerrard set up the team, it was a setup to give Leon the best opportunity to exploit the opponent. All right, I'm going to tell you why. Because they played with 3 across the front, basically, which is Coutinho, Danny Ings, and Leon Bailey. Leon on the right, Coutinho on the left, and Danny Ings in the middle. I feel like Leon Bailey, like Coutinho, needs to play like as a number 10, one of those in that area, to be able to string the passes out there and through the spaces and lines. I just think like, but what they will do is that I don't think they want to bench Danny Ings. I don't know like who they would play as a left winger.
Yeah, I mean, they have players. The problem is Coutinho is not the same Coutinho was at Liverpool, right? At Liverpool, he played on the left, but he almost played like a pseudo 10 role.
Yeah.
At Liverpool, he's not a winger traditionally. He doesn't have the speed anymore. He had an ACL injury about 2-3 years ago. He hasn't been the same player since. So he's in a difficult situation because Villa has players, quite a bit of players. Question is, how do you utilize them? I'm not sure Gerrard is doing the best job right now. And I think if he doesn't win, if he's not doing well in the first 10 games, he may go
under pressure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at one of the teams that people are expecting to be a surprise team, which is Newcastle, who got the better of the promoted Nottingham Forest by 2-0. Shar scored in the 58th minute, and Callum Wilson, a player that I don't like. Because whenever he plays against Arsenal, he's like, I don't know, he's like a Troy Deeney trying to fight and thing. I don't like him as a player. But Newcastle started. They started. Look at their starting 11. They have Pope, right? Trippier at right back. Target at left back. Joe Willock. Gomez. The coach has moved Joe Linton into midfield. Almiron, Callum Wilson, and St. Maximum. That's the team that they use. So using up the new signings and getting the 2-0 win. What are your thoughts on this?
So Newcastle boxed us last year, so we might get top 4 now because we went to Newcastle and got
and drew the game.
They had the second best record after the Christmas break in 2022, and it's not by chance. So their midfield is solidified between Shelby, Joe Linton, Gomares, and Willock. That's their midfield. And that midfield has been playing really, really well. They supplement that with some additional players. Botman came in. He hasn't started the game. And you expect that somebody paid that much money for, 30+ million to start. They have a very good team. Almiron, who can't score to save his life, a lot of goals in preseason. That's why he got his starting slot. Wilson normally is an injury-prone player, but a very, very good forward. He's actually a complete forward, actually.
Callum Wilson,
a very, very good player, very, very good forward.
I don't like him.
I know you don't like him, but he's a good player. That's why you don't like him. You don't know. Maximum hasn't played well, actually. Because I watched the game, because I'm always watching the game because Willock was an Arsenal player, so I watched Willock, so I watched the game. I thought St. Maximin has not been playing as well as his ability should allow him to do, which is very disappointing. But their midfield is very strong. Guimaraes was making passes left, right, and center, splitting the lines 24, and his passes at the right pace, in the right spot. All you have to do is run onto the ball. You don't have to break your stride. And I'm sorry that we didn't get him Manning's man.
Yeah.
Replace Xhaka, because he's been very good since he came over.
Yeah. Welcome, CC. All right. Yeah, man. You probably think like we're not at Chelsea yet, so I don't know why you jump on so fast, but we soon get there.
No, you're Premier League, man. I said, come on.
The next game we're going to discuss is our rivals, Arsenal, Tottenham. Probably the most impressive of all the teams this weekend. They defeated Southampton 4-1. But I need to remind people that don't be surprised. Southampton normally concedes a lot of goals. They either win big or win by surprise, or they lose big. They really lose game by 1-0. I don't know how the Southampton team play, but they always get some big defeats. So in this game, James Ward-Prowse scored for them in the 12th minute, and then Session scored, equalized for Tottenham. Then Dyer. Then there was crazy own goal. I don't know what the defender was doing. How he was positioned that way, and then Kulusevski scored in the 63rd minute. Tottenham 4, Southampton 0. What do you make of their performance, CC? And then I'll hear from Cranky.
I mean, Tottenham's performance. I think last year Tottenham won against Man City and tracked a lot of purses. But I think this victory for Tottenham is much more of an expected one based on their transfers going in, the amount of the business that they have done during the transfer window, the coaching change that they had made during the season last year. Because at least in my opinion, they have probably one of the top 5 coaches in the game at this present moment. So based on all that factor, because you already know that Harry Kane is not somebody who produces for you in the month of August. And I think probably even Antonio Conte have done his homework on that. So the signings that they have made and the players at their disposal, I think Tottenham is a legitimate contender for the top 4. So the game itself, even though they were losing 1-0 at one point in time, never really looked as if Tottenham was going to lose that game at no point. So it was much more of a formality. I would want to see their upcoming fixtures, because I think the next game is against my team. So it depends on
that's a Sunday game.
Yeah, but
Chelsea
I think
versus
on
Tottenham.
paper, I think we have a lot of names on for Chelsea, but I think Tottenham for me as the better coach and quite possibly, if I should say, the better team. But we have to just see where it goes. But I think the game in itself against Southampton was not necessarily a real true test for them, and I think it's just coming out of preseason, coming into your first game, they impressed, in my opinion.
Oh, what say you, Cranky?
Well, it's interesting. They bought 5 players. None of them started that game. They bought on Thursday maybe 30 minutes ago. So Richarlison, Bissouma, Lenglet, Deep Spence, none of those players actually got to wet their feet fresh.
Yeah, man. And Bissouma came on.
But substitute, but I'm saying started. None of them started. First, none of the 5 started, right?
Yeah.
And if you're Richardson, who have a World Cup coming up, the way Kulusevski's playing, what happens? It's the only spot you're going to get. You're not taking Son out of the game. You're not taking the captain out of the game. So that's the one spot you have open. So it'd be interesting to see what happens going forward. Richardson, who wants to get into the Brazil World Cup team, and if he's not playing, how can the coach pick him? So that would be interesting. But they have a very strong squad now.
But Richarlison isn't fit though, because he wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, but he played throughout preseasons. I'm not sure if he.
So I'm wondering if he picked up a knock or something, because he wasn't even listed as a substitute.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't hear him get any injury. I thought I heard that Pulisic had some kind of strain, but he played. So
yeah, he came on. Yes, he came on.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he didn't start. But it's going to be interesting because you start the team from left finish last year.
I'm surprised though that they didn't bring on is it Jed Spence?
Conte didn't want Spence. Levy was Spence's buy. So Spence was Levy's buy, I should say. So we'll see how that works going forward.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he didn't want Spence. Spence is one that made his name against Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Yes, in the FA Cup. Yes. What do you make of do you think how highly do you rate Ward-Prowse, the Southampton captain?
It's a very interesting question because obviously he's the best dead ball specialist probably in football, whether corners, free kicks, whatever. But I'm not sure, and he's in the England squad, probably on the fringe of the squad in a sense, but he get to play. But I'm not sure he's technically he is at that level to get into a top 4 team. That's the question. And Southampton want the world for him too. So if you try to buy him, they want to.
Do you think he's better than Granit Xhaka?
Yeah, I mean Xhaka is decent on the ball and he's an intelligent player, but if I had a choice between the two, I think he just probably is a little bit ahead of Xhaka, yeah. Even though Xhaka plays well for Switzerland, by the way. Really well for his country versus for Arsenal. But then international games are a different game too. It's not the Premier League.
Okay. All right. So now this is a team that lost. The next game is Leeds versus Wolves. Wolves, I mean, this was at Elan Road. Now Wolves is a team
Elan Road.
Right? Wolves is a team that really loses games. They draw a lot of games, right? And so I was surprised by this result because they took the lead and ended up losing by 2-1 to a Leeds team that lost Calvin Phillips and lost Richarlison, that a lot of people felt like these were their two most instrumental player, but they had like
Rafinha. You mean Rafinha, not Richard.
Rafinha, right, Rafinha. But they had Brentford coming back, who was out for most of last season. And Wolves, I don't know. Yeah. What do you make of this game?
Well, Leeds bought about 4 players or so, right? They have Tyler Adams,
and who started?
So they have. I mean, look, Calvin Phillips was injured most of last year anyway. People keep talking about Calvin Phillips and Leeds. Yeah, the year before he played a lot of games. Last year he didn't play a lot of games. Rafinha played a lot of games and scored goals, so that's a big loss.
Yeah.
No, Wolves is one of those teams which is they can either do well or fight for relegation. They buy a lot of Portuguese players at the same time. Half of them don't work out. Some do, but some don't. So it's a real hit and miss with them. I didn't watch a ton of that game because I'm trying to watch 3 games at once. It's very difficult. Trying to watch 3 games is very, very difficult. So I did watch like the latter part of that game. I thought Leeds looked okay.
Yeah. But one of the things is that they have lost because Connor Cody from Wolves is gone. They didn't have also Bali.
I think they didn't have him that at that point in time, or they did just not play him because he was going to be signed.
No, he's been moved to the bench. That's why he wanted to leave, because he wants to be in the England World Cup squad.
Because he was leaving, I know that he was leaving, but I don't
find it. This is he was a captain of the team.
But he's a very good.
But just like Tyrone Mings, he's been benched. So when you get benched, you ask to leave. He's 29. He's been benched. They're moving him out, and so he wants to be in the squad to go to the World Cup in November. So he goes. I don't understand. And they put him on a loan to Everton, who they're probably going to be battling with because they're kind of in that same group. We gave Leno to Fulham because he's been a good servant. You sometimes appease and help these players get to what they want to get to. Because he wants to play. He'll walk in the Everton team. He wants to play the World Cup.
But it's a loan, Frankie. It's a loan. Why are you loaning him to your...
But I'm saying he won't play against you. But he won't play against you.
Oh, well, that is true.
That's 2 games he won't play.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're getting a loan fee. So, yeah, it's a good question to ask, though, which is, why wouldn't I give him... But if he went to a better team, he wouldn't start. So... Right, he's trying to play, players going to the World Cup.
And they also have 2 players that have been linked with, one linked with Manchester United, one linked with Arsenal, or 2 linked with Arsenal, which is Neto, that the winger that can play left and right, who was the cause of the second goal that they conceded, and Ruben Neves, who many people think is this. I think he's like a Ward-Prowse as well, just a midfielder who's very good with free kicks. But many people are saying that
Neves is not the most mobile player. But he's better technically than Ward-Prowse. He can spray a pass here, there. He's a very good player. I just think mobility-wise in the Premier League, I need a little bit more athleticism in my team with the same technical ability. Neves has been a player linked with us quite a bit, Man U quite a bit, a bunch of different teams. And Neto, even though he's very, very skillful, he doesn't score enough for me. I need someone to put the ball in the net. We can't score goals. Why would we get Neto, who doesn't score either, but is very skillful? We have skillful players, they can't score.
All right. Let me just get a couple of comments. My prediction for this season: Liverpool, Man City, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, in that order. Okay.
Again, you're wrong in your prediction, but that's okay. We can all be right. Or maybe he made a mistake. I need to flip Chelsea. You need to flip Chelsea and Arsenal. He made a mistake. He typed wrong. So Travis, I forgive you.
Yeah, I can't understand.
Listen. I can't tell you this.
CC, I'm going because I have your game next, and I'm going to give you all of the face. But what I can't understand is last season, Arsenal had the worst start in the league. At the end of the season, do you realize how close we were to Chelsea and Tottenham? We are looking better. Chelsea is looking worse. And yet people are still saying Chelsea is going to finish ahead of Arsenal.
So here's the thing.
I think that's is with Arsenal doing it, because Arsenal have this tendency, I think, on the Arteta, when they start to lose a game, if them lose one game, it's like them depend on a domino effect. And I don't know if Arteta find the way in which to claw it back as yet. Because he's a good coach, When you look at it, Arteta is a good coach, but I think in the difficult moments, when you need to say, all right, to go through 2 difficult games, he tend to let it slip and go to all 4 games, and you realize the results are not going your way anymore.
Go ahead, Cranky. I have a good response to that, but go ahead, Cranky. I have a good response.
Yeah, Chelsea probably they don't have a striker, right? They have a good team. Koulibaly looked really, really good. And if you watch the goal they scored against Everton, he's the one to set the goal up. They have the same team from last year, basically, apart from Lukaku, who wasn't playing anyway. They just need a 9. They need a 9. They have Borja, who came on in that game but didn't start and played with Southampton last year. They need a 9, but I mean, think about it. They have Conte, they have Jorginho, they have basically a similar team. Well, they have the same team from last year that finished what? 3rd? So they should be okay this year. They just need to go forward. And they have to supplement that with Koulibaly. They've lost what? People who don't really count in their defense. So
yeah. Let me say this, Cranky. When Arsenal had those spurts, they were either missing Tierney, a party, or Gabriel Magalhaes.
And for a couple of games, Ben White was also not playing.
Right. So every time Arsenal went through one of those spurts, they were losing one of those key players without good replacement. So here's my thing. I think that is what has affected them. And if they can get 2 more signings, it means that I don't think we're going to suffer if Tierney is out anymore because we have Zinchenko. We had 2 center forwards playing who combined, they only scored 8 goals. Aubameyang and Lacazette. 8 goals.
I think it was 6 from open play. I thought Abba they both scored penalties, so it was about 6 from open play.
Yes.
It was atrocious. It was atrocious.
But man, it's the same argument you're making. I remember that my team fell apart. We lost both wing backs. We lost Reece James. We lost Ben Chilwell. We end up losing Ben Chilwell.
Let me tell you the difference. When you lose those players, you still have Asper, Lupeta, Marcos Alonso. When Arsenal lose those players, we don't have anybody.
Yeah, but man,
we have to move Granit Xhaka to play left back. It's a completely different thing.
Hold on. When we lose Reece James, I will lose Ben Chilwell now. Azpilicueta is now playing alongside Rudiger and Silva. And then we
all of these guys are internationals for the
no, I'm not saying no.
Listen what I am saying, CC. You're making a comparison that is same thing with your team. It is not, because when I lose Tierney, it is Granit Xhaka playing left back.
No, and look, we lost last year because Tierney got injured. Tamiyasu. So we had no right and left back. Cedric's not an adequate replacement. And we don't have a left back because Tavares was struggling. And then White also got nicked up just before in a couple of games in that 7-match run. So defenses were decimated, and therefore it was a struggle. And frankly, 2 things: decimated out wide on defense, and our forwards, including our wingers, weren't scoring the last 7 games. Saka scored 2 penalties in the last 7 games. Martinez scored 5 goals last season. Like I said, had scored 8 goals, and not all in the Premier League. So it was goal-wise we weren't scoring, coupled with having injured defense this year.
And then Thomas Partey was out. Thomas Partey was out the back end of the season as well.
Got injured against Palace. So we weren't in the best place.
But a lot of, as I say, still, health is a big factor in how it plays out in a season. Depending
I think it's squad depth, though. I think it is a depth of your squad, because you can, like I'm saying, the difference with a Chelsea, a Liverpool, or a City is that if Kyle Walker gets injured, they have Cancelo. That's like an upgrade or similar.
City lost the Champions League because they didn't have an adequate replacement for Kyle Walker when he got injured last year.
Well, that is true
because Cancelo was playing on one. Walker played on. Watch the game against Real Madrid. They lost because he got injured.
Fernandinho
who got burned. So that's why they want to buy Cucurella, to make sure they have adequate coverage. And he's at Chelsea now.
But I think even when Chelsea bought Cucurella, a lot of persons are realized now. We have 3 defenders right now in their 30s. We had to sign Alonso to a 2-year contract extension. 2-year contract, give him a 2-year contract. Not Alonso, Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta is 33 years old. The defender that we bought, Koulibaly, he looked very well. He looked good. He's in his 30s as well. Something there 38. Thiago Silva is 38 years old. So I think even when we signed Cucurella, there's a bunch of persons, even pundits and other persons. Oh, we're spending this amount of money and then we're going for Fofana for 80 this amount of money. I think they fail to understand that the market is the market. This
but listen, you bought Sar from Nice.
No,
in 20
it was a free transfer.
You got him to your team. You sent him out on loan. He was ahead of Fofana. Now you're going to sell him to buy Fofana. Like, the whole thing not making sense. I think that is...
Mannings, what I'm saying to you that it is... I realize that sometime when you come on to even Chelsea, when we bought Cucurella, the backlash that we are getting for buying Cucurella, City wasn't getting that backlash. If they were going for Cucurella.
Do not confuse the issue. Cucurella was acquired last year for 15 million by Brighton. You paid 63 million for a 30 million pound player. City didn't want to pay more than 40 million. That's why they didn't buy him. They said, no, there's no way I'm paying you 60 million for a 30-something million pound player. How they value him, you paid twice the price.
But remember, Yankee, City is averaging 60 million per defender that they buy. Every defender City buy, million.
All right. CC, Cucurella has only played one for Spain. Once. Is he the starter at Chelsea when fit? If everybody at Chelsea is fit, is he the starting left back?
No, but Cucurella is going to start. He's going to start.
No. That is not what I... That's two different things. Is he going to start? Hold on. Here's a question I'm asking you. Will there be games where he start?
Yeah.
No. If all your defenders are fit, is he your number one left back?
Mannings, you have to understand is how we are playing. Mannings, you bet you will see Cucurella and Chilwell on the field at the same time.
No, see. All right, let me ask you a question. Pulisic and Sterling play the same side, right?
Or if Pulisic and Sterling play in the same side?
No, man. I'm asking if they play on the
side of the field.
Do they play on the same side of the field?
Yeah, but Sterling are really a player. All right, go on.
So they play on the same side. If everybody is fit, who is your starter on that side?
Sterling.
So why can't you answer the question for Chilwell and Cucurella?
What man is failing to understand is that Cucurella is going to play with Koulibaly and Silva.
The starting back line is Silva, Aspilicueta, and Koulibaly. That's your starting three in a back five.
No, may I tell you, Cranky, when everybody's fit, when everybody's fit, it won't be that way.
What side does Koulibaly play on? What side does he play on?
It's just that Koulibaly plays left centre back. So
where does Chilwell play?
He plays left back.
Where does Cucurella play?
He can play left centre back or left back.
He play three.
Left centre back?
No, Cucurella can play centre back. You know, I understand what Cranky was getting at. We're saying that where Cucurella is going to play in the back three, because if he can't play right centre back,
he won't play. Koulibaly is already there. So if you're gonna play two on that side, you play Koulibaly, you play Chilwell, Koulibaly, and Cucurella. You can't play all three of them. You can't play out. Somebody's on the bench, and the 63 million pound player is not on the bench.
Right. So that's the point I'm making.
One cost 63. Now, if you present value the money, they may be equivalent, but the last person who came in is the one who's going to play because he's what the coach about.
Yeah. So my point is, do you pay $60 million to have a man sit on your bench?
I know we are first team do that, man.
But management, I'll say this about us, though, management. We may have the same thing in our team.
With Pepe?
No, with Ben White. When Tomiyasu is fit and rearing to go, and we have Saliba, because Saliba is solidified, you know. Saliba is not a darling of everyone. He's not moving. So where does Ben White go? Who's trying to make England's World Cup team?
Yeah. All right, so CC, all right, we're going to get to
plus Ben White only had one good season.
So let me ask
you. Buy him for 50 million.
And he had 3 good seasons. One the championship, one at Brighton, and one with us.
So why? No. Cranky, no, when I use the one with you. When you bought this guy, he had one good season in the Premier League. Cucurella had a good season in Spain with Getafe, and then he had a good season in the Premier League.
No,
and then
No,
now
no,
he's
no,
with
no,
us.
no. That's the point I'm making is that Ben White has played well for 3 years in a row. I understand you're saying, I agree with you in terms of 1 year in the championship in the Premier League with Brighton, but he did really well once in the championship, and he came back to Brighton. He played even centre mid, right back, and centre back. So that's why we bought him, because he's versatile.
There you go. So CC, what I'll say is this: when you buy Fofana, let me ask you this: where does he play? You're paying $85 million for him. Does he start?
He might go start over Aspilicueta.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too.
So why then didn't they? Because Aspilicueta wanted to leave, right? You remember that?
Yeah, but we can't allow because Alonso is leaving, so it kind of puts on. Aspilicueta can play anywhere in the back, in the back line. See, to lose him and to lose Alonso and lose the other two defenders that we already lose two defenders, and you're losing Alonso as well. That's three. To lose Aspilicueta would be detrimental to the season because you're gonna lose some form of depth and even leadership in the back line. See, I don't think they would want. That's why they gave him the contract.
All right, let's get to your game now. You had a 1-0 victory penalty. In time added on after the injury to Ben Godfrey. Long delay. You 1-0. What you make of your team performance? Defeating Everton, and also at the back of that, your big forward you bought recently, you sent him back to the same club for less than half the money you bought him for. 15 million.
Alone in the pan, man.
No, what? No. It's not no loan. It's not no loan. He has been sold back to RB Leipzig.
Timo Werner attack.
Yes, I'm talking Timo Werner.
Oh, so Timo Werner, yeah, 20 million plus some other.
No, 16 million.
No, man, 20 million.
No, man, 16 million. It is the add-ons that going to bring it up to 20.
20 million plus. Anyway.
How much did you pay for him again?
Played 45, I think, or probably 47.
And then you sell him back.
You paid 50. Stop reducing the number. You paid 50 million for him.
And then you sell him back to the same club for how much?
Less than the amount.
Okay, all right. Just continue. Tell me about the game.
I know easy, man. Hey, you make it look like. No, you make it look like say we alone do them kind of. Anyway, the business it is what it is. With Timo Werner, as even Cranky has pointed out, World Cup is coming up. Everybody want a move to go somewhere. You can't hold on to a player if he doesn't want to be at the team, and you don't want to create some kind of controversy in the dressing room. Timo Werner, I thought his game would have translated better, coming into the Premier League, but it seemed to have not worked out in itself. I think his work rate is what we got most out of him. The end product really wasn't much there, but it's not like it's bittersweet for me. I think it's the best outcome for both the club and both for the player, right? So that's where my head is with that, and it's good to get some of the players out before, because the thing about it is you have the Premier League going on, and you don't want to have players in there moping. You remember the coach was moaning about players' contracts and players want to leave and players who are on the field thinking about moves and all these things. So now that that's out of the way, I think we have a couple more to move out of the way, which is Michi Batshuayi and Alonso. So I think after we move out those on the way, what I think my team lacks though, I think we'll need an additional midfield player, because I think we're trying to get rid of Ross Barkley as well. I think we need an additional midfield player, a more creative midfield player, in my opinion. Because I think with the front three, I saw Tuchel playing them, it was much more of a fluid front three, if I want to say. Because I think he had Raheem Sterling playing free roam, and you had Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. So at one point in time, Raheem Sterling was playing like a false nine. Then he moved over. But he was fluid in the front three, and I think we're not going to score I think he gets a lot of touches because I think he had about 55 touches or so. But we need goals to score to win games, and I think we need a focal point. We need a centre forward that can score some goals for us. But we also need a midfield player, in my opinion, that will get the centre forward more involved in the game, because I think Mason Mount thinks about scoring first and less creating for others second. That's what I think how he plays. When Brewer came on, you realized the issue, because I think Kai Havertz was not close enough to create the opportunities for the forward when we put him on the field. Raheem Sterling now is pretty much the same thing. So I think we're struggling in terms of getting the ball in the net. And you realize that, especially against a team that's playing a low block, we struggle to break them down and get that goal that we need. If not for the penalty, we probably would have ended up with a draw, because you realize that that's how Frank is playing and using the physicality of his team to try and outmuscle our team, because we have the better quality players.
If it didn't, it is obvious that if we didn't get the penalty, it would have been a draw game, because that's the only goal.
A draw game.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you, why
Everton
did you get
a low block?
All right, so let me ask you this, CC. If you have two forwards who are prolific before they come to your club, they come to your club and they're not scoring, is it the forwards who are off, or it is the midfield who is creating for the forwards that is the problem?
I think it's a bit of both, but I think it's more blame on the midfield. I think there's lack of creativity in
So if you're bringing a new forward, so the reason why I ask you, if you're bringing a new forward, what is going to change?
That's why I said that we need to bring in a midfield. All right, I think this is said, but I'm not sure if they could get him. I would love this. There's a lot of controversy, but you see the money that they're throwing at Fofana, I would very much rather they go out and throw this money at Frankie de Jong, because right now our midfield is one-dimensional, and we don't have that type of player. And I think with Frankie de Jong, we would have someone who is much more.
And who is he going to give the balls to score? Raheem Sterling?
No, that's what I was saying, that we need for carrying a forward to manage.
So you need a Frankie de Jong and a forward.
Yeah, man, we need a Frankie de Jong and a forward.
So which forward out there are going to find now?
I've seen where the Napoli guy is interested, so I think
Osimhen, because he had some fallout with the club over there. I think it was after that his club president said that he's not signing any more African players or something to that effect. Because of
pretty much, because it matter about the whole African Cup of Nations, but I think
I think there was some issue in training and the guy walked off the training and
CC's right.
Okay.
With players who play in the African, the problem is, the African Cup of Nations is in the middle of the season. So the people in Africa got upset about what he said, but the South American, kickoff, Euro all play in the summer when the season's finished. They're doing the World Cup that's played in the middle of the season. That's why people are upset with them. They got to come to a compromise. Maybe it's too hot in Africa to play at that time, but they got to come to a compromise, because it's a problem for teams who pay you and the players get injured.
They can't have, but that's what I said, Cranky.
It's a lot of games in a season, right?
I was asking the same question.
Yeah.
I was asking the same question, as in the fact that he said this season, it brings up, it kind of set away, because World Cup is practically 16 games. After 16 games.
Yeah, but see, all teams will suck. The thing when you have African Cup of Nations is just African players. So it don't affect every team. The World Cup affects every team across all competitions.
And it's not only that, but a lot of competitions stop when the World Cup starts.
Yeah.
And recommences when it finishes.
Yeah.
African Cup is in the middle of the season. You got to stop, lose the player. They're gone for 6-7 games. They come back. Your system could be lost by then. That's the issue.
Yeah. But I think probably because his players went to because he had Koulibaly and they went to the final and thing. It's difficult, because I think, but then again, Cranky, it's the climate of the countries. Because I think Afghan played one time in the summer, but I don't know if, depending on the country that it is being held.
Hosted by.
You know, sometimes people get vilified for saying certain things. He's not the only one thinking it. Somebody in West Ham actually said that a number of years ago. And it was a big uproar about it, right? They saying the person was racist.
I think Klopp even said similar things. Klopp even said similar things, but he never went as far. But Klopp was saying that he was basically saying some things and persons were saying he's belittling it. But Mannings, if anybody watch Chelsea play, yes, we might have a good team. And I think
the Liverpool people are saying that you do that. You have a way of Chelsea have a way of doing that to strikers. Because I did it to Fernando Torres as well. So it's not like a new thing with Chelsea.
We bought Fernando Torres injured.
No. Even before Torres. Even before Torres, they had the problem.
Yeah.
But how much team in the
Who was before Drogba?
How much team in
the Ukrainian striker?
Who did they have before? Who did they have before?
We had Anelka as well,
no. They have Shevchenko. They have Andrei Shevchenko.
Remember that Andrei Shevchenko was bought by Roman.
No, man, you guys mash up Andrei Shevchenko. When he came to it's true.
Remember that when Shevchenko came to Chelsea, something they never wanted him, and that's why.
What I'm saying, it don't matter. When he came there, he was a prolific striker, and he just went downhill. Zaya came from Ajax and came to Chelsea, and the man is just. Where is he? He's still at Chelsea?
He's still at Chelsea, man.
But you know, Ajax players are not as successful when they leave Ajax.
Like De Jong?
He was okay at Juventus. He's not at Barca. But I think about what's his name?
De Jong?
Who went to West Ham. Before went to West Ham and then went back to Ajax, and he's now was supposed to go to Dortmund. And he got this.
And then there's also Van de Beek as well, who is at Manchester.
Van de Beek. There's a number of players. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah. All right, let's go to we have the Leicester versus Brentford game. So let's talk about that because we have the big game and the big team Manchester to get to quickly. So that game was 2-2. Ivan Toney scoring for Brentford. Dewsbury and Castagne scoring for Leicester. So the game ended 2-2. I think Leicester going to struggle this season, because I don't know. I just feel like they're not doing anything, and I feel like they're going to lose players.
Leicester did something that I don't understand, though.
But hold on, CC, because the goal scorer were Ivan Toney and the former Arsenal man Joshua Da Silva scoring in the 86th minute to secure the point for Brentford, who came from 2 goals down at Leicester in the game. They are losing Costa Schmeichel. Why? I'm wondering, why did he leave at that age? What could have caused that? Like, why you leave Leicester after all of these years? You shouldn't just end your career.
Some people just want a different challenge, like Mane leaving Liverpool. Sometimes it could be. I don't think it's money because France ain't got no money for players. And he was a captain.
Hold on, CC. Yeah.
That's who we should have bought.
Who? Costa Schmeichel?
Sadio.
And come on, we're going past Chelsea now. We're talking about Leicester. Cranky, why you think Arsenal has never gone after NDD?
I don't think look, Arteta has a view as to the qualities look for and the attributes look for in a player. And if you don't fit that profile, you can't play for him. So NDD is sort of one-dimensional, right? NDD is a very good defensive midfielder. But think about him going forward. Can he split the line with a pass? He can cover a lot of ground. He's good defensively. But to start the play and progress the ball, I don't think that's his skill set. Yeah. So he's not a type of player.
On a different, why not get Ivan Toney? Why Chelsea don't get Ivan Toney or Arsenal?
I don't think we think Ivan Toney is good enough.
What about you? Would you want Ivan Toney?
He's too expensive anyway, but I don't think he fits out of the profile either.
There's a guy there who would probably rather buy over Ivan Toney. You must see him, Mbuemo.
Mbuemo? Over Ivan Toney?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Because it's a certain type of style player. Just like they're linking Zaha to Chelsea, but I don't think Zaha would be successful at Chelsea. Based on the midfield that we have, you can't just get
No. Zaha could be a successful any place, apart from Man
No, but he's saying that because he was at Man U. He was at Man U. That's why Cranky said that, because he was at Man U.
Zaha is a quality player.
You know,
Zaha,
I think we should give the start. We should give a start and try though.
Zaha wanted to come to Arsenal because he's an Arsenal fan, but Emery wanted him, but we bought Pepe instead. We're living to regret.
Yeah. All right. Let me take this one. This is probably the I don't know the game that caused the most debate and argument. The pundits were upset. Somebody saying that they would rather Arsenal by Tammy Abraham. You know what? I think Ivan Toney is better than Tammy Abraham. I don't know if people rate Tammy Abraham. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't rate Tammy Abraham.
You know,
we bought who we want. We bought who we have. We don't need Tammy Abraham. We don't need Ivan Toney. Even though you need a big forward to change the game up, especially for in the box in terms of physicality. But they're not complete players. Ivan Toney.
No, that's the problem.
Ivan Toney is very good in the air. He's very good on the ground. He can pass the ball, but his mobility is limited.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to Manchester United. All right. Versus Brighton. People, do not underestimate Brighton. Brighton took points of all the big teams last season, including Liverpool, I believe. All right.
Yeah, Brighton had less losses than we do actually last year. We had 30
There
losses.
There you go. So, for people who are thinking that Manchester United got beaten by Brighton, Brighton is not some little joke team.
No, man. No bother with that. You're not supposed to come at Old Trafford, Brighton, not Old Trafford, come beat Manchester United.
How did Brighton and Chelsea go?
Brighton beat Spurs last year.
Yeah, how did Brighton and Chelsea go at Stamford Bridge last season? I'm asking you a question. Just check the result.
Listen.
The only thing I say about that is, Brighton has no Cucurella and they have no Bissouma. So they lost two of their best players, but they have a very good team. And Welbeck, anytime you play against your old team, I have an axe to grind, then you always seem to play well if you play with your head. And Welbeck had a phenomenal game. And plus, Welbeck has been spouting videos about his workout program. He's really worked out hard in the summer. You know he's injury prone. And he had a great game. And actually, he should have had a penalty when Martinez pushed him over and never got the penalty. And there's a big discussion in the British media that it was a clear-cut penalty and VAR didn't overturn the referee's decision.
Yeah.
But no, Brighton played well.
Yeah, but Brian, the thing about it is, just like I said, I think even Manchester United fail to understand this.
Arsenal, Brighton drew with you with 10 players when they should have defeated you at your home ground, and you ended up.
We're not disputing that Man is beating Everton. The victory at Everton the other day was the first time in 5 years we are winning at Everton.
And you shouldn't have won either.
Exactly. I want is a Everton for me can beat them.
If the core get a penalty on my team, he can't play the next game. Nobody who plays football grabs somebody in the box.
Yeah, that way.
That makes no sense.
What? Mr. Cranky, the man now try to be discreet, and say, all right, I'm give him one hand. I hug him and hug up the player and I go on with
the box. It makes no sense.
Listen, all right. So let's talk about the Manchester team. They started with Dalot, Maguire, the new signing Martinez, Luke Shaw, McTominay, Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Sancho Eriksson, and Rashford. Cristiano Ronaldo was on the bench. Was that a mistake from the coach to bench Cristiano Ronaldo one? Because the coach had some 5 rules thing, that if you miss training.
Just look on the midfield. I looked at Manchester United. I saw 2 number 10 and a number 8. What are you playing?
Who is the 2 number 10?
Looking at the midfield, good.
No, I'm asking you. Fred, listen, Fred is a Brazilian. Don't ramp with Fred. Fred is a good. Fred is one of the best midfielders at Manchester United.
What is Fred? Listen, what I say, the man.
You know something? The Man U team is a very expensive assembled team. But when you look at the players individually, you're like, where are they going? You look at Rashford is homegrown. Greenwood is homegrown, but Greenwood is on sabbatical, as we know. Sancho hasn't played well, even though he did well at Dortmund, right? Fernandes cost about 40-something mil. or 50 mil, whatever the number is. He hasn't played well for a while now. McConaughey is homegrown.
Yeah.
A lot of skill set. Freddie's
Luke-
50 mil.
Luke Shaw is homegrown.
Huh?
Luke Shaw is homegrown.
No,
Homegrown.
Luke Shaw is homegrown. Came from Southampton. Now played 30-something mil for Luke Shaw. So Luke Shaw is 30-something. Luke Shaw is 30-something. Martinez is 50-something. Maguire is 80. Varane is about 40. I think that didn't cost as much. There's a very expensive assembly team, and they look lost. And they have a 37-year-old forward who they're depending on. That's not a good look. If you spend $500 million and you have nothing to show for it, they're like Everton. Better players than Everton, but it's not a good look.
Yeah. And some people are blaming McTominay. I see some of the Manchester fans are some started blaming Harry Maguire, and I'm saying, what did Harry Maguire do?
No, I would blame.
How did
Harry
Martinez
Maguire,
do?
Harry Maguire at the men.
I would just pray. No, it's bad management. I'm telling you, management. Look at the team. They're unorganized. The pieces don't fit. The Premier League is about pressing, and their players don't have the capability to press. Sancho can't press. Fernandez can't press. Rashford can't, but that's not what he does. They're a challenge team. They're a challenge team. It's going to be tough for them. They have good players, especially up front, but they're also not producing.
I don't know. Well,
How did Martinez look? Does he look like a $50 million player?
He looks like he's 5'7", man.
I don't know why did they spend so much money on to play? Like there are certain
they're like Chelsea. They saw us going with 30-something million. They think it must be a good player. They jump ahead of us. We back off because we're not paying more than 30-something mil. And then like Chelsea did with Coutinho and Man City, they kept on going and going and going. There's nowhere to stop and overpaid. And
to be honest, Frankie, I am of the opinion that next transfer window, like next season, it's probably different because I think we have persons dealing with the transfers that are not affair with the affairs of football. You understand? And that's why it's costing us in the market.
Here's the point, which is you have to go out and source your own players. You identify them. You start engaging with agents. Then engage with the team to bring them in. You don't look at somebody saying, you know what? Oh, City's going after him, so it must be a good player. Let me go try to pursue the player. And City have the evaluation, and you don't have your evaluation.
But remember, Cranky, as I said before, who is the acting sporting director?
No, the owner is the one in that capacity. He got rid of everybody else.
And I don't think with all due respect, I don't think he understands the dynamics of football to that level fix and say, oh, so right now what he's doing is throwing money at the problem.
Well, I wouldn't say this. So here, I don't agree with that. We don't know. So hear that. English media have the same perception. They think they're the only one who knows football. Then they come to America and you hear them say, oh, you know what? Oh, well, these people really know football really well. They're passionate fans. This arrogance about we don't want to know the sport because we invented the sport is nonsense. I don't know Bowley's background, but we shouldn't say he doesn't know players or doesn't know the sport.
All right.
What we should say is that he doesn't have the relationships because relationships allow you to source players.
I was just about to say that.
You can go have the conversation to go source players.
I was just about to say, like, for example, if we had a Michael Emenalo in that capacity, or as the relationship already, because that is what I think he should have done, Because
Michael Monaco a while ago. You lost Michael Monaco a while ago.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I know we lost him. We had Marina, so Marina was dealing with this stuff. So I'm saying that. To me, what I think Bowley should have done, you could have sitting in all of these stuff and oversee it, but I think he should have gotten someone who has had the relationship already in the transfer market with these agents, with these clubs.
No, I think what he should have done, CC, he shouldn't have. So when you buy a company or you buy a team, you retain who you have there if they have had success until you bring in your own people. You give them retention bonuses. So you have clauses in those bonuses, so they can't leave because they want to collect their funding until you find competent people to replace them. You don't just cut them. They have all the relationships, they have the insight, they've done the scouting, they know what's needed, and then you're left with you making decisions. He may be smart and brilliant, but you need people around you who have been there, done that, have a relationship. He didn't do that.
I think it was.
It was the smartest.
It was one of the biggest mistakes, I think, because we're seeing it reflecting in the transfer window. Remember, Cranky, some of the players that we have went after, you know, Barcelona still hasn't registered these players. They still can't register player up to today.
Yeah,
up to 9:46 p.m. And them still get the player over with. For less money
No. But CC, you gotta understand this. Everybody wants to live in Barcelona. Forget about the team. You ever been to Barcelona? First of all, the weather is nice.
I've never.
The beach is not too far away. You can stay up in the hills. So everybody want to be in Barcelona. That's first thing. And second, the team has a history where everyone want to play for that team. You know what? I heard that Rafinha's getting, I don't have the facts on this, that Rafinha's getting 30-something thousand pounds a week. I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes no sense.
No, I'm not true that.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. It doesn't make any sense.
101,000. He's getting 19,000 less than what Chelsea was offering.
Okay. I heard a different number, but it's probably a rumor. I heard a different number.
What I say is that some of these clubs, though, like a club like Brighton, they are doing good business. Listen, they sold Ben White for 50 million to Arsenal.
Yes.
They sold Bissouma for how much? 25 million. So some of these what you'd call smaller clubs, they are really
for 62 million.
Yeah, they bought him for 15 odd and selling him for 60 odd million. So you check those three transfers, they have had over $100 odd million. Just the other day, people wanted to buy Tyreek Lamptey. I think he is for $40 odd million. So these clubs are making. They are doing good business with in the transfer market. But the final game of the weekend was defending champions Manchester City versus one of the surprise team of last season, West Ham United. City won that by 2-0. Haaland scoring in the 36th minute, a penalty, and then a very good goal in the 65th minute. Could have scored a hat-trick as well. What do you make of Man City? Business as usual, 76% possession, but they only had 2 shots on target and there were 2 goals. I mean, West Ham, what do you make of?
I think, so it was an interesting game, actually, which is West Ham didn't turn up. I'm sorry. At one point in the game, man, possession stats was 84% to 16. I don't know how they get 24% for West Ham because you keep the ball out of bounds is not possession. They weren't in the game. They played deep. They're trying to soak up pressure. They weren't really countering. If you're gonna lose with some pride. I just didn't like how they played. And City just dominated. Kyle Walker was playing midfield. Cancelo was playing midfield. There was no resistance from West Ham. And here's the thing about it: you're playing deep, man, and 2 goals you gave up, the forward got behind your defense, which makes absolutely
yeah.
If you're playing deep, a forward should be able to get behind your defense. And the second one was even worse than the first. But this is the first one, the keeper was close and tripped him. The second one, it was a breakaway. He was with the keeper by himself. So that was poor defending. They didn't have a center back though. I mean, they had Johnson at center back playing beside Zuma. But they lost. I think they had like 2 or 3 center backs out. But having said that,
what the coach said with Zuma, when Zuma get the little injury, Zuma get the thing that injury. The crowd behind Zuma. That's how the cat felt.
And I think Antonio's facing a threat.
Honestly, though, I think they deal with black people for certain indiscretion worse, right? And I say with Bissouma, right, I'm not justifying what he did with the cat, but at the end of the day, I mean, Harry Maguire's act was worse overseas, and so was Phil Foden and these guys.
The incident didn't occur in the UK. Maguire incident occurred in Greece. I don't disagree with you, firstly. I don't disagree with you in terms of, well, it depends on how you did it, because for some people, a cat is more important than a human being, it appears. No, that's a fact. I mean, for some people, their dogs and the cat are more important than human beings, the way they operate. But you can't be stupid. And you can't do something that egregious to a cat and then post it in a public domain. What are you thinking? Would you have a brain? Like, it doesn't make any sense, man. But that's cruelty to
the animal. That I agree with.
But I don't disagree holistically that I'm not sure. look, your persuasion influences decision a lot of times. Because judges look at you, you don't look like them. They're gonna make decisions about you, which may be in your favor. But you can't. If that's the case, man, you can afford to put yourself out there to be involved in those situations, especially when you're a public figure. It doesn't make sense.
I just feel like, for example, and I mean, I could be wrong, like if Harry Kane did the same thing that Mason Greenwood did, it would not have been handled the same way in England.
I think there's two things with Mason Greenwood now. But I'm realizing.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I
don't know about that. I know about that because Evans did something with a 16-year-old and his career was over, right?
Who?
He went to jail for 3 years.
Who? I didn't get the name.
Evans, the footballer, I think his name was Evans. He's something with a 16-year-old. He went to jail for 3 years. So I mean, you have Giggs now. So he's beat up his partner and was bullying her. He's in court now in Manchester. So when you have those situations where someone is disadvantaged, or you're the stronger person, it's going to happen. A gender situation, you should be penalized. The question, your question is the nature
does the media, like the kind of how the media deals with the whole thing, and then even after that, I don't know, like if the fans ever saw Harry Maguire and spoke about his incident or Phil Foden, they don't.
No, he was in the media quite a bit. But it's died down. Everything has a history to it. You don't hear, right? I mean, it was very publicized for a while, but he's gonna buy his way out of it. It looks like, because it was supposed to be a serious incident, and all of a sudden he's gonna have a court date. He was released. So yeah, I mean, justice is not equal, right?
Yeah.
Frankly.
And sometimes, like you know, have you ever watched it yet? And your team, you heard your team was linked to a player. And then you say, I am glad that they didn't get. You see, somebody said that Andy Johnson went to prison, Chet Adams went to prison, and he was innocent. They are white. Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Soti. So he's saying that there are other white persons who have. Is that they did something with cats? Or.
But nobody go to prison. He paid a lot of money.
Did they do some? No, I'm trying to check if they did something with the cat. Hold on, CC. Hold on. Don't lose the point. Sauti, did they do something with cat or did they do something with a puss? So the two different things, you know. So anytime, you know, go ahead, CC.
No, man, I said, remember that even in horse racing, from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, that they dismember a section of the male horse. So I'm wondering if this is not animal cruelty.
Dude. All right, CC. Here's the thing. No,
I'm asking Mannings, and that is their sport.
CC. Because if that is animal cruelty, then eating chicken is. They're two different things. Come on, CC.
No, but you're doing this and you're forcing the animal.
Is it meaning you're always vegetarian? You touch on a subject, man, which is very important, which is human beings is very skewed how they set their rules on what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, right? And the whole thing that you're pointing out, which is something that I've talked about around how you treat certain species versus others. The ones you like are protected. The ones you don't like, you don't care about.
No, all right. Soti, I get what your guy is saying, you know. No, man, Soti, I get your point, you know. I get your point because he's saying that you said if Harry Kane did what Greenwood did, he wouldn't have faced the same thing. Greenwood didn't do anything with, I think he's saying cats. No, remember, my thing is not really the justice. It is how the media handles the person and stuff. I think this is from my observation, just my observation. Like when black players do certain things, the kind of way it is dealt with, I think it becomes more explosive and a bigger thing. It's almost like the media, the pundits. There's always this narrative like they shouldn't even be playing the game again. They should be kicked out.
I think there's a couple of things here. One is when we do something, we don't know how to do damage control. We're very poor. We don't have the right representation. We don't know how to manage those situations, and we exacerbate those situations. And it happens a lot in the U.S., frankly, especially in various disciplines. The other persuasions will lawyer up as quickly as possible, get their marketing people and their publicists to manage the negativity, go low, and then try to figure it out. We sometimes don't have that same apparatus at our disposal to enable us to manage those situations.
I will say, Cranky, that I'm very surprised about this whole Thomas Partey thing. I know they were booing him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really talk about this because it's still where it is, but it was 3 situations. One has been disposed of. The other 2, they're questionable. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, Basuma had the same situation.
Yeah.
Basuma's case got squashed in the summer. So you're going to get those situations. People, we see that with Mike Tyson years ago. They happen with public figures, whether people are trying to, whether it's right, wrong, indifferent, whether it's legitimate, or people trying to, get money out of them. But you got to be careful if you're an athlete.
Okay. All right. So, what was most impressive for you over the weekend? I mean, player or team? What stood out to you the most, Cranky? Like, and then the same question is
coming up. The most impressive thing of the weekend were the teams that got promoted, Bournemouth and Fulham, and how they played against. They were very much underdogs and how well they played. Lesser things like Haaland, we know he scored like almost a goal a game in Germany, so that's expected. The question, could he transition to PL? He has done so. Obviously, Arsenal going to Crystal Palace, and Saliba looking like the Messiah. I wouldn't call him Van Dijk. Looks better than Van Dijk. I'm just kidding. But he looked better than Van Dijk this weekend because Van Dijk gave away a penalty. But he played really, really well. He's been that way throughout preseason. And I've said it from last year, which is everyone is now saying Arteta did the right thing to him on a loan. I think that's nonsense. We wasted 50 million on Ben White. We could have bought Basuma with that 50 mil from Brighton and plugged Saliba in. We have a much better team, much more rounded team. Disappointments also should be mentioned. Man United cannot afford to be where they are and how they played. I thought Liverpool, who played well in the Community Shield, even though Fulham really worked their tails off, really played well, you're too good to not come away with a good outcome in that game.
So was it a brilliant performance by Brighton or a poor performance from Manchester, or both things happened?
I think both happened, but I think it's probably more of a poor performance by Man U. And here's why. So I think Welbeck did a phenomenal job. So what Welbeck did, which teams don't do, which West Ham didn't do, is he not only stayed up top when they're being pressured, he was also going where the outlet's going to be, where the ball's going to be played up. So he then forced them to have Martinez marking him and sometimes have the other defender having to cover. So then you're playing 10 against 9, basically, because he's occupying two defenders, which West Ham didn't do with Antonio. You have to force team to make decisions. But they force you to do something, you got to force them to do something else. But I thought they played. Brighton is a good team. People are underestimating Brighton. They played well last year.
Keep saying that. Why? Yeah.
Good players. Because Caicedo, the kid from Ecuador, is a really good player, really good young player. They had Marsh. They have a bunch of players who can play football. So we should.
Good players and good coach.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So all right. So CC, you same question for you. Big up coach means Southie. Come on, come give me the breakdown Liverpool thing for me now, man. Now wait and hear.
Yeah, so what is the highlight and disappointment of it?
Yeah, what stood out to you the most? What surprises, disappointment, and thing? I'm surprised that Cranky didn't mention what stood out to him is William Saliba. Or you did?
I mentioned Saliba. What are you talking about?
You
weren't listening. That showed you weren't listening.
He was salivating over Saliba.
Wait. He wasn't listening, PC. That's really bad.
I mean, what stood out for me, I think, over the entire weekend, I think it's Arsenal's approach to the game. I think normally you watch the first.
Are you saying that because you're on the stream, CC?
No, man. Normally I watch the first couple of games with Arsenal. You're still, because Arsenal is a club that is going to hover around the top 6 now, whether they are good or whether they are not so good. But I think when you're looking at them, I think Arsenal has a legitimate claim to finish in the top 4. carrying over their preseason form into the first game of the season.
So who is your top four? No, that you put Arsenal in there. Who is your top four?
My top four?
Yeah.
My top four is Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. But
Spurs gonna make top four?
listen, the Spurs situation, I'm gonna tell you why. I think Chelsea, I have to put Chelsea.
This is a good point because Coach Minzy is reminding us that last season Brighton actually gave Manchester United 4. So
no, Brighton's a good team.
Yeah, but go ahead, CC, finish up what you're saying.
What I'm saying is this. Chelsea, I have to put Chelsea in there, even though I still think we're missing 2 players. Isn't it 2 players? Yeah, man, after one game, listen, when I can look at Chelsea.
Who you think has a better team? Chelsea? Who have a better coach? Chelsea or Tottenham? Better coach?
A better coach?
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Who you think right now have the better squad? Chelsea or right now? Chelsea or Tottenham?
Boy, man, you ask me some difficult question because I think Chelsea have better. We have better squad, but Tottenham have a better attacking force. Going forward, Tottenham is better.
Overall squad, Chelsea is better.
Overall squad, Chelsea is better.
So what's the better midfield? With Bissouma and guy from Southampton.
Chelsea have a better midfield, man.
Eh?
Them forward is where they're better than we, man. Them forward.
You think you really think, right? That Bissouma and Højbjerg in that midfield.
We have Jorginho. When him there.
And Kante. No, just 2. It's 2. Give me 2. Give me 2. Give me 2 that match up with them 2 there.
You can't just
then I could have said Jorginho and Kante.
Who this 40s? Hey man, your rank thing you have pool on it.
We're better in a midfield than them, man. But as I said before, Tottenham, them attacking prowess with Kuliveski and Son and Harry Kane and them guys, them have the goal scoring capabilities. But we are going to see, man, remember them we are playing next now. Understand? So we are going to see
Sunday.
We are going to see what takes place.
But you know what I don't want to do though is that if Tottenham beat you, you come and say, well, it's just a second game.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. All the time Chelsea depend them worst day. Them Tottenham there. Them Tottenham
you know what I'm saying? You just want to say them Tottenham they can't go any further. Southie, Fortis, welcome to the show. Good evening. Yeah, man, talk to us about Liverpool because we were discussing it, but I was wondering where you were. So talk to me. Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that part. Me I wait for you on the top about them still, so don't have, I come in late.
There wasn't much to talk about Liverpool.
No, they were bad.
Really? You thought it was a penalty because we even discussed that? Because I felt it was not a penalty that thing there won. Mitrovic won.
No, I was saying that it looked like he didn't touch him, but I don't know. I can't say that, but
wrong thing. Don't look at the feet, look at the knees. It's a penalty.
But I think listen, you see I was watching the game, you see? I see a lot of people. I hear them on the radio station and stuff. I hear them blame Trent Alexander-Arnold, right?
For the Mitrovic goal. Madness.
Virgil van Dijk gave away both goals. But nobody wants to say it, right? Now them blaming Trent, them saying Trent didn't jump and all of that, right? This guy Mitrovic, him bigger than Trent, taller than Trent, he's running towards the ball, right? Him a run towards the ball to edit. And him put both hands on Trent's shoulder. Both hands on him back right here. And elevate himself, and head in the back. And so them say, is Trent caused the goal because Trent never jumped. But goals don't just come because the ball going in the net, right? That's all. When I watch a game, right, Fulham have a player on the right wing. The guy who crossed the ball. Before him pick up the ball, he was in an offside position. Before them pass the ball to him, and like him try hold him run. If you look on the thing, you see him offside. You see Robertson, Matip, and Trent. Them hold the line and the guy offside. Virgil van Dijk, who was ahead of them, like when I say ahead, I mean ahead of them, closer to the half line than them. Before the guy get the pass, the guy was in offside position, you know. And the other three players, them hold the line, you know. It's Virgil van Dijk run back, you know, and drop behind them and make the guy onside when he pick up the pass, you know. And then because Robertson play the guy offside over that side, the guy is free when he pick up the pass. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're saying that the play that led to the ball coming cross, it was a mistake by Van Dijk?
Yes. All but right, people on radio and stuff talking about Trent give away the goal because the Trent never jump. But the man have it on the man back. The man jump with him and use the shot. And the bigger than the man and everything. Right?
There's a couple of things. One is, I think sometimes we give credit to a very good goal than just blame. Yes. That's the first thing. So here's the thing. The cross was a brilliant cross. The brilliant cross.
And the guy, the cross is a brilliant cross. The forward bigger than Trent and taller than Trent. And on top of that, him use Trent for elevation.
The only thing I say about Trent is Trent can't defend himself.
See, but me I talk about
Soti, 1 second,
first ball. Me I talk about
Soti, he never glanced once during the whole sequence. That's what
all me I talk about is the pass that was made to the man who crossed the ball. The man was offside and Virgil run back behind him, other defenders, and make the man onside.
Well, Soti, in football, there's always a mistake made someplace. The question how do you mitigate what's going to happen subsequently?
It's always a mistake, but I want the right people to get blamed for the mistakes.
Right. So, that's a very good goal.
What I'm saying, like I'm saying, listen. You know what the truth is? Forget who play for midfield on that side for Liverpool. They stop running with Mitrovic long time. Trent never see him because the person stopped tracking him when he reached in the box. That is why Trent didn't. They're telling people if you watch the whole sequence, I'm saying that he could have jumped, but he saw the player was being tracked. He saw the player.
He couldn't jump. He couldn't. Man, I don't think it was a jump. I think what happens that play, man, here's what you do: you glance and then you ride the player coming behind you. What jump wouldn't help it. You ride the player, meaning you ease him. You back into him, so he's all
that is the thing. That is the only thing I think. That is the thing that I was saying he should have done. Either him stop or him do something like stop dead upon him and make him run into your back or something.
Yeah.
But,
right.
But based on how the cross was coming and that guy used him 2 hands and put it on Trent back and climb, that was over.
I skip a play over there in the mornings.
That was over.
I skip. What did I play this?
Who, Van Dijk?
No, Van Dijk, I will skip a man.
Henderson.
Oh, Jordan Henderson.
Jordan Henderson, man.
No, but I thought Jordan Henderson had a very good game, you know. Henderson.
He had a very, but you were saying you don't know who was playing that side, who was stop tracking the man. I mean, I tell you, a skipper, did I play over there?
You know something? When you watch that game,
no. Didn't Jordan Henderson go play central by that time? And
Fabinho went over there, traded him.
Wasn't Fabinho substituted
at the time of the goal?
No, man, the first goal.
I talk about Mannings.
The first goal at Mannings.
First goal
in
the Mannings.
I think we just need to give Fulham credit, and actually Fulham goals were worse. The goals that they scored against Fulham was worse than us. Fulham scored 2 good goals.
Yeah, and them scored 2.
I don't think Fulham's second goal was any good. First of all,
he put Van Dijk on stage. What are you talking about? He put Van Dijk. It's a good goal.
The man wasn't even going to get by the ball. Like him chopped the ball so long, he wasn't even going to get by the ball. First of all, it starts from Matip. Matip make a pass and try to break the lines, and he make a bad pass. And Fulham cut it out and play the ball to Mitrovic. Mitrovic pick up the ball close. This guy is not fast. He is not fast. He pick up the ball somewhere midway Liverpool up. And Van Dijk allowed the man to take the ball all the way into the box. Allow the man to take the ball all the way to the box. And instead of come cut him off outside. And then when the man cut him hang out him foot. The man drop over it. But I want to
Salty. Let me say this. Wait. Van Dijk is the best defender in football.
Yeah, but he's not perfect.
And you know something? He's playing against a player who scored 40-something goals in championship, who was told he can't score in the Premier League, who was a point to prove. And he
can't score in the Premier League. Just because he score one goal or the last time.
No, he scored 2 goals against you.
2 goals. So the last time he was in the Premier League, did he score 0 goals?
No, he didn't score too many goals the last time.
All right, so he's going to score something. He's going to score.
It's been a while. He improved.
This is like his 3rd trip in the Premier League, 3rd or 4th. So him scoring a penalty and that header now got to change the narrative in one game. You have to come more.
You guys on skate. He had you guys on skate the entire game. He was dominating the defense the entire game.
It doesn't matter. That's what's his name again?
Cranky.
Yeah. The man has played in the Premier League about 3 times before. Yeah. One game, whether I have Liverpool or skate Saturday or not, one game is not no narrative. One game not.
Here's the point, Salty. But he played for Fulham the year before. When Parker was a coach, he barely got in the game time.
But still, one game on Saturday cannot change the narrative. He might have to do it more.
So he's building upon his resume, which he embellished in the championship. He's building on his resume, Salty.
The man has played in the Premier League 3 times. He flops every time. But it doesn't mean that
he played in the Premier League already, man.
It what?
It's the 5th time, but the thing about it to Salty, the man is 27 years old.
All right.
No, but Jamie Vardy was 27 years old.
It doesn't matter. The point is this. Him playing in the Premier League 4 times. Him flop.
Stop increasing.
No, this guy just tell me 4 times. It's not just a 4 times.
Mitrovic, let me just check it. I'll check it.
No, you're talking about going back and forth.
2 times for Newcastle. 2 times for Newcastle. 2 times. Right. This is the 3rd time.
How can you watch a man play in the league 4 different times, and then because you see him play 1 game Saturday and score 2 goals, the narrative can change in 1 game?
So Salty, let's take a step back.
No, hold on. That's why I answer that question.
I'm gonna give you an analogy. Look at Tony.
Analogy.
No, look at Tony, who plays for Brentford. He was at Newcastle. He then went to Peterborough. He then went to Brentford. He then came back to the Premier League. Some people blossom late.
Was Tony's narrative changed in 1 game?
No. We're not saying narrative. We're saying he's
that's the question me ask. A 1 game in play. So the narrative can't change.
Did he have Liverpool on skate, Salty? Did he have Liverpool on skate? Did he have
1 game. It doesn't matter.
This is Liverpool.
It doesn't matter. You have games where a defender might score 2 goals in the game. You have games where a defender might score 2 goals.
I have a question for you. Whenever you see Van Dijk being destroyed in a game, when
he was destroyed? What do you mean by destroyed? What do you call it? What do you call this?
The first skate was when Pepe had him on Robinson skate.
No. Pepe what do you mean by this destroyed? Him give you a penalty, that is destroyed.
Wait, you just blame him for 2 goals that scored this weekend, right?
All right, but I never said if I blame him for a goal that I think him should have hold him line and play the player outside. That means he was destroyed.
No. Here's the point. No, here's the point. No, he got run around this weekend. And he never gets run around. He's the best defender in football, Salty.
But he's not perfect.
Exactly.
Nobody's perfect. That is why I can't come and blame him for 2 goals, because me know no man not perfect.
No, but everyone knows Van Dijk is a great player.
Yeah, but he's not perfect.
We're not giving Ivanovic any kudos. Any kudos.
Mitrovic.
I'm sorry, not what's his name.
Yeah.
Any kudos say what? Say he didn't have a good game.
You're not saying you're a very good player. You're not saying anything.
He had a good game. He's not a very good player. What do you mean very good player?
No, man. I You're judging Mitrovic when he was a younger. Mitrovic came into the Premier League at 20 years old. Like that's difficult for you to gauge him. And
when he come the second time, how old was he?
He was 22.
When he came the third time, how old was he?
No, I'm saying
no.
Fulham, no, Southie. I think he has
when he came the fourth time, how old was he?
Hold on. He's 28 years old now, and I think he's at a stage in his career.
His first season in the Premier League at Newcastle, he played 34 games, right? Which is 25.
He scored about 9 goals.
He scored 9 goals and he had 4 assists. The next season, he had a major issue, so he only played 6 games and he scored 1 goal. That was 2017, 2018.
Like it's like Firmino.
And then what happened is that he started out, then he went, because he started out and he went over 2018, 2019 to his first season at Fulham, where he played 37 games and scored 11 goals with 3 assists. All right. And then in the relegation season, he wasn't getting he played 27, 3 goals, 3 assists. And then he played 1 game this season, 1 goal, 2 assists. So, I can understand somebody saying that he's not a prolific striker, but seriously though, he normally creates some,
No, the whole of watch football. Yeah. We see games where a player can have a good game. It cannot change a narrative in one game, because players you will have a player have a one good game and then go weeks and months without another good game. So I feel too much conclusion get drawn on one weekend and one game and stuff.
Southie, let me just say this.
But Cranky, don't lose your point, because Cranky did say this, given what he saw of Darwin Núñez in the game, he did say this though. Watching that one game, Haaland and Darwin Núñez are going to cause major problems in the league. So there are times when they can look at
both of them, yeah.
But that is one game. But so you can use one game to make
No, it's not because of one game. It's because of them. It's because of what them doing in other places. Like, you know that. It's not because of the one game.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, Craig.
So, Ali Watkins came on the
you know the point on the keeper on a class. You know the point on the keeper on a class over. That man has played in the Premier League 4 times. And you're trying to use one game, one weekend to change what you have seen 4 different seasons.
All right, go ahead, Cranky.
So here's the point. So Ali Watkins came up from the Championship. He was a leading goal scorer with 30-something goals.
Always.
Wait, relax now. He did really well at Aston Villa. Subsequently, Tony break his record. He did really well at Brentford. Mitrovic broke Tony's record, and he's going to do really well. There's a frequency of events right there. Okay.
All right, we will see. There's always time for everything. All I know is one game don't change a narrative. One game can never change a narrative.
But you have to score 2 goals against the second best team in the league to make your name.
It doesn't matter, boss. Don't matter. Like it's one game. Like it can happen.
Here's what I want to ask you, Southie. Do you think that we're not the coach, so we can just look, but should the coach now look at probably starting Darwin Núñez and bring on a Firmino?
Probably going to do that, because when Núñez come on and play a different game, them put more ball in the box and all them things. Them put more crosses. Them put direct ball, like the second goal was a direct ball from deep. Yeah,
the biggest difference is Firmino is dropping deep like Kane do nowadays. Right. Núñez is playing up top, so you have more room for your midfield to progress the ball. You have a tall striker up there to get the ball in the box. It's a different game. It's like we see Haaland now doing for Man City versus what was done before.
When Núñez play, they play a more direct game.
Yeah.
And they put more crosses in the box and stuff. Like the first goal was a cross, and the second goal was a long ball from Trent. A long ball up. That I think him fumbled too. I don't even think it was a pass that he made to Salah, but hey, it reached him.
The goal, right? You know the goal hit the defender. The ball missed him, hit the defender's heel, came back to him, and it went in the goal. Yeah, 2 goals the same way he missed the first one, he scored the second one.
Yeah, them guys will score. Haaland going to score, him going to score.
Yeah.
What do you make of Tottenham performance? Or did you watch them?
No, Liverpool game is the only game I watch all weekend.
So you didn't have a good weekend then, Salty. You didn't have a good weekend.
I had a very good weekend. I took my children to the water park for 2 days in a row. Huh?
Oh, you had therapy. It's a good thing.
I have a granddaughter who is visiting from Jamaica, and I have to make her enjoy the place before she go back home. Can't watch games during the time. And because the Liverpool game was like 7:30, at 7:30?
Yeah, it was very early. Yeah.
All right, so I was able to get up and watch that before I start making the moves with the kids.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
No. The thing is that, listen, it depends on how. When Arsenal draw a game, you don't want to watch any more games for the rest of the weekend.
If you're Liverpool, you have to be very careful. Because you're not competing against a regular team in Man City who knows how to pretty much try for. You can't afford to drop points.
Football, things are gonna happen. Teams are gonna drop points, that. Them things are gonna.
You have lost the championship by 1 point a couple seasons in a row, right? 1 or 2 points. You can't afford to game against team that's coming up for the championship. It's not a good look.
It happens.
I mean, I tell you, say, and I'm telling you that without a striker, Man City look like they're going to score. With a striker,
go ahead, Sissy. Sorry, go ahead, Sissy.
Liverpool score just as much as Man City.
No, but look, I'm saying to you that for Manchester City, when you look for Manchester City versus a Liverpool, there are some games that you realize that Liverpool is like Liverpool can't equal. They will just lose some. They draw some odd game, drop some point in some place where you don't really drop point.
So how is it that if Liverpool is dropping points where you don't expect it, how is it that them end up with a 1 point difference? You don't see Man City drop points in places you never expect it.
No, but
only one.
Like how when Southampton beat them. I think when people watch Man City, you don't forget everything about every game. It's almost like this team winning every single game. Like them draw game too, them lose game too. Them lose to teams that you think they're gonna beat them too. Them things that happen to them,
Hey, Salty. I realize you just won 4 of the last 5 championships.
Them win 4 of the last 5 championships. Yes, them win 4 of the last 5 championships. What and?
So the point I'm trying to make is you're talking about as if, well, you know what? If Man City does like Liverpool, you're not winning. You only won 1. But in the last 30 years, you have won 1.
Doesn't matter, boss. You have to stick to the point that I'm trying to make. Don't argue. Listen, the guy just said Liverpool drop points against teams that you don't expect them to drop. I can name a bunch of games where City drop points. But when I listen to you guys talk football, it's almost like this Manchester City team wins every game.
I know, you sound like a Liverpool fan.
This is why I don't like come on these things. Because when a person make a point and you cannot respond to it, when you go into them things there, because you know TSC, because it's here. Listen, I know what I said. When you guys start, listen what CC said. Liverpool lose to some team or drop some points that you don't expect them to drop points to. Does the same thing happen to Manchester City?
Not as much. So last year, Man City lost. No, not as much. No, listen. Man City will destroy the lower team. Man City last year lost twice to Spurs. Spurs are top 14.
All right, so Soti, let me ask you. What? Cranky, you're gone. You mute yourself, Cranky.
No, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh.
Liverpool drop points against less team than Man City does. Man City lost twice last year to Spurs.
How much points is on offer in the league? 114. How much points Man City lose? Man City finished with last year.
93 points, I think.
That means them dropped 21 points. Where did they drop these 21?
Did you drop more than 21?
22. No, both of them dropped 21. It's goal difference.
No. Liverpool dropped 22. We're talking about the man said, I am telling you that Man City drop points in games also that people don't expect them to. The man telling me about Tottenham, someone know what happened in the rest of the year.
No, but here's the point I'm trying to make though. They dropped points normally to Crystal Palace. They dropped ties to points.
So you would expect Did you expect Crystal Palace to beat them twice?
because Crystal Palace always play them tough. And they play us tough. For years.
This is why I cannot come on these things and talk to you people. Because you are liars. You did not expect Crystal Palace. CC, did you in any other 2 games you saw Crystal Palace go and play? Did you expect them to beat Man City?
Pull up Crystal Palace Man City record. We will show that it's not the first time they've in a season.
Frankie, like most people on these things, you're a liar. You did not expect Crystal Palace to beat Man City twice. So the fact is, all teams, I don't like liars. This is what I don't like. I don't like people who lie to win a point. The point is, all teams drop points in games that you don't expect them to. This is not just a Liverpool problem. This is a problem
that Liverpool has.
Crystal Palace, Tottenham give City a hard time.
All right, Cranky, hold on. All right, we don't want to get...
Before I go there, sir.
No,
so, the Liverpool lost the league because them draw one game that they should have won. And
no. Liverpool, you know Liverpool lost the league? Because them dropped one more point than City.
I tell you, you had City to play. If you beat City, you win this league. Yeah. You are going to that game there as the informed team. Liverpool is going into that game. You know what to do? Wet the bed against City.
A rubbish. You know Liverpool lost the game. You know Liverpool lost the league
against City.
All right, I'm going to tell you different now. Me can tell you 10 different instances. Them lose the league because them take the 2-love lead against Brighton and make Brighton come draw with them too. No, let me talk now. Them lose the league because them take the lead twice against Brentford, a newly promoted side, and make the man come back 2 times come draw the game. They lose the league because Mohamed Salah kick a penalty against Leicester and them lose 1-0. Then you know what? Then lose the league because Alisson run out time goal against Tottenham and kick and miss the ball and Moses Son kick the ball and the empty goal and them draw the game 2-2. Then you know what game I can't find to think where them lose because them for lose the league? You don't lose a league because of one game, boss. You lose a league because you drop 1 more point than your opponent. Which means to say you drop 23 points and you drop 22. That's how you lose the league.
I was Soti. At 2 times I witnessed Liverpool lose league twice.
What?
Because of two games. 2 games. A game that you lose the league. You lost the league against Manchester City. Manchester City. No other way. There's no other way. You are Man City a player. Beat your opponent and you finish in front of your opponent. You decide, say, I draw this game, I'm not going to draw this game.
Stop talking rubbish. That's not how you lose a league. You lose a league because you play. You don't lose a league because one game against a team. You know, so Manchester United used to win the league without beating. We play a lot of teams in the top 4 and don't win none of them and win the league. You know?
All right,
Soti, if you are very vociferous, if you're loud, it doesn't make you right. The point about being and you can call people liar when it was a lying.
Because I don't like liars. I don't like people who argue to win.
Listen,
I don't like liars.
Listen. The point I'm trying to make is this: Crystal Palace plays it difficult. Wolves plays it difficult. Spurs plays it difficult. This is not debatable. It's not debatable.
And before the 2 Crystal Palace games,
I never said that.
No, hold on.
I never said that.
Hold on. People, hold on, because this argument is not going to stop. I don't want it to get. Watch it. Me and management and a 2 KC man. This. So I don't want you understand me. You guys have us.
No, he was adopted. That case, he was adopted. But go on, man.
I still would like to know our team lose a league because of 1 game. Because me and next man can't go.
Nobody said that. Nobody said
that's
that.
Hold on.
I didn't say that.
No,
you never hear? You now listen to your fellow panelists?
Yeah, but I don't want to agree that you lost because of 1 game. The point of the matter is this. My point was,
so it's 2 different points
against the team, which is unexpected most times.
All right, so hold on. So there are a couple of things. I think
Liverpool, you know why Liverpool lose? One thing I gotta say, man. One thing I gotta say. A team can't lose a league because of 1 game. You know why Liverpool lose the league? Because last season, every single time Manchester City took the lead in our game, they won the game. Every time them take the lead, them win the game. Every single time. Liverpool there are 7 different games. They took the lead and failed to get 3 points.
No, they lost the league because Man City was a better team.
There were 7 different because they don't control the game.
Okay.
So you can't lose the league because of just look into that. One team, every time them take the lead, they win. The other team lose drop points.
Listen, here's what we need to understand. All right, there are many. One thing I don't agree with CC, the one game thing. I can't, because it's over a season. All right. So, but here's the thing, Sauti. There is some merit to what Cranky is saying, which is this: there are some teams that Liverpool, which is what you are saying, you know, Liverpool. Ian Cranky actually said the same thing, you know, which is this: Liverpool dropped some points against some teams that generally City don't drop points against those teams. I think that is it. And you just said it by the very example you give where you're saying no, Liverpool go up and lose or draw the game. When City go up against certain teams, exactly manage it so they don't normally struggle. So there's some validity to that point.
No, those are two different teams because some of the teams where Liverpool take the lead against is like Chelsea, Tottenham, see a Man City there. So it's not like no team where some people are gonna say them sure for beat them team. But there are two different arguments.
All right, so let me just, but because I wanted to ask you, because here's the problem, I think, and I think I said this in other settings with you, that Liverpool, Canote is out, right, for a little while. He picked up an injury in the last friend that you played.
Yeah.
Is Canote?
He wasn't available this weekend. He wasn't available this weekend.
How long is he going to be out?
I don't know.
All right, so I think this is a concern, and you don't know what is going to happen.
Them still have 3 other centre backs. So.
No, man, I know they have Matip, they have Van Dijk and Gomez. All right, I'm always concerned, just like with Arsenal, that if Partey goes out, we're in problems. If Van Dijk goes out, no, it's going to be problems. I think this is where, I think like a team like City, I think although Cranky made mention that when Kyle Walker went out, it probably cost City the Champions League. And I think the team that can have the best cover for these important players, because I think with the World Cup, somebody important is going to be missing for some part of the season, because the World Cup just come right before the winter break. And I just think like teams need to look at that, and that may determine the league this season, in my opinion. And that goes for Arsenal, the Chelsea. That important player could go to the World Cup, pick up something, and it affects the campaign if they don't have quality replacement. And I think that's my concern for Liverpool this season. City, and who I think are the major title contender. But welcome, Preacher, because the pastor couldn't control the thing, so the Preacher come on to deal with the 2 KC man them, cause him coming from down at this down for the North Street side of it. We're not hearing your Preacher. Oh, go ahead, we're hearing you now.
Fourth is Cadaris Celeris non-protest, man. Yeah.
Oh, you got to KC too?
I lived close enough to be important.
No, you not go, but everybody know the motto.
I did common entrance, and I chose Casey and Woolmers at the time, and I went to Woolmers. So I mean, I had some interest in Casey, but other. Why is the people talking?
Did you go to Casey or Woolmers Casey didn't accept you? Was that it?
No, man. Why is the people thought it best for me to go to Woolmers? Yeah. But
why is the people saying?
But let me just say that this is going to be a unique Premier League season, simply because the World Cup is being held when it's being held. So for every team, from team number 1 to the last team in the league, it's going to impact them in some way. The lesser teams who may not have a lot of players who are playing for their countries in the World Cup tournament may be at an advantage this season, because they may have the ability to have more time with their squad players, when the World Cup tournament is taking place. The competing teams, as management says, they're gonna have to deal with the realities of some of their players playing in the tournament. The possibility of injuries is a possibility that will exist. But just commenting quickly on the Liverpool phenomena and reality. I think starting
You're a City fan, right? Just want to make it clear to the people.
No, not at all. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a Chelsea fan, and so
okay.
You're not a real fan then. You're not a real fan. If you're not Liverpool, Arsenal, Man U, you're how become a fan, so you're not a real fan.
No, not true. Let me be very honest. I started supporting Leeds United. In the season when Leeds won the then English League One, with Gordon Strachan and those players. All right.
Okay.
When Leeds got relegated at the time, Hernan Crespo joined the Chelsea team as an Argentinian supporter. I just automatically
decided to jump on Chelsea.
No, but if the team in that time, that very early 90s, in that time, without Leeds being in the Premier League and not
just
having
make a point, man. I don't make practice start troubling you, man. Just make a point, man. I'm probably gonna give us salty, man.
But yeah, no. But Liverpool. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they look at this Liverpool team, and Jurgen Klopp must be given a lot of credit. Jurgen Klopp has created a Liverpool team, and he has found replacement for players, primarily those who play in the attacking areas of the field. The one big challenge they have is that they have some irreplaceables. Even if you have backups, these players are irreplaceables. Virgil van Dijk is irreplaceable because of how good Virgil van Dijk is. So if Virgil van Dijk gets injured, even if Gomez comes in, even if you have Matip, even if you have Canute, they're not the same player like Virgil van Dijk, right? So that's just a part of the reality of having exceptional players in your squad. The same for Man City. If Kevin De Bruyne goes down, the replacement for Kevin De Bruyne may be a good player, but he's not Kevin De Bruyne in your team. So I think in looking at what could happen, these things affect teams that have exceptional players. When that exceptional player goes down, the quality of the team will drop off. Invariably, they may still be good enough to beat lesser teams. They will compete with the better teams, but the quality will not be the same. Let me just talk about Chelsea. Our season hasn't started yet because we're still trying to figure out what our best 11 will be. We're still in the market for a center forward. Kai Havertz is not going to do the job for us for an entire season. He's frail. He doesn't do well against more physical teams. I mean, that Champions League goal, we'll remember it, but he hasn't really been the kind of impactful player that I think we wanted him to be. Werner is now gone. We're in the market for Aubameyang. We have Broha, but he's an unproven talent at this level, week in, week out.
Yeah, in the market. Did you see in the market for Aubameyang?
Yes, we are.
Didn't he just tore up his Barcelona contract, man? You can't just get him.
No, I mean, we know how these things go, especially in the English Premier
League.
I think the report said he withdrew from Barcelona.
Oh.
Which is
a lot of things going on, man. Because there are 3 players in Barcelona that we're linked to. It's just that they're not announcing certain things. Because we're attached to Depay and the Frankie. It's just that this is not me. I would want Depay and Frankie. I don't know about Aubameyang.
All right,
no,
continue.
Memphis Depay and Frankie De Jong.
When you say you're talking about Chelsea?
Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan.
Okay, beautiful. Well, guess what happened? De Jong is just going to be another central midfield type player who can also slot in perhaps 1 or 2 games in a more defensive centre back position. When you look at Chelsea, De Jong, yeah.
De Jong can advance the ball and pass the ball better than with them. But he says
because isn't he saying that he wants his money first?
Money, right?
I think Barcelona is saying that the contract that De Jong signed previously
was illegal.
was illegal and there was some criminality in it.
Blackmail. Them just trying to blackmail.
Them have a bugger thing. So
Well,
I think the best scenario
yes,
is the best scenario for me.
The new person in charge comes out and say that they have investigated it and the previous contract was illegal. So they basically don't owe him any money because it was an illegal contract. That can make any sense. What is wrong with Barcelona? Like Barcelona,
they're trying to blackmail him into accepting their terms, man. That's how they much.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know we have to be careful of the things we say on platforms like these, especially if we don't have all the evidence. But there's something wrong with Barcelona at the moment. There's a lot of things that are being sorted out. But I tell you why I'm not so gung-ho on De Jong.
But preacher, like just stick up in. What I am sure that most other team would not have been allowed to do some of the things that Barcelona did. Given the state that they were in, how they were able to get the level and all of these people to come in with the kind of issues that they were having, when even a team like Real Madrid have held strain, all the team in Spain, you just check the teams in Spain, because they're in crisis coming out of the pandemic, the teams have not gone and gotten anybody, and Barcelona, like all kind of allowances.
There's a reason to that, Mannings. There's a reason. Barcelona is too important to La Liga for La Liga to allow Barcelona to fail.
Well, it's more than that. That's a very good point, CC.
That is part of it, but that is part of it. But it's even bigger than that.
Another issue.
That's a part of it.
Another issue, and I'm sure Sauti may have a different one. Another issue is players still want to go to Barcelona, in spite of what's happening at Barcelona, in spite of all the administrative issues, in spite of the poor management. There are players who still see Barcelona as their creme de la creme in terms of putting on a kit. This probably wouldn't happen for some clubs in England or some clubs in France, but Barcelona is the holy grail, for want of a better term, for some players in terms of just playing professional football. So if you still have demand, they're going to find a way to get players into Barcelona.
But listen, preacher, I have a question to ask about that, right? Because I asked this question this morning. I asked it of somebody else. Like economics, the law of supply and demand, right? If Barcelona is seen as the holy grail and everybody wants to go there, if they want a player, the player going to jump and go there. Why do they have to pay so much money to players?
Well, demand and supply doesn't only work in the Barcelona sense; it also works in the ecosystem of football. And so
let me say.
I'm answering the question.
Because I isolate Barcelona in the sense that if they are this club that everybody wants to go to, them different from other clubs, if everybody wants to go to you, why do we have to pay much more than other people when people want to come to you?
And I'm saying it's a very good question and a very great observation. Look at it this way. The market still drives and influences a lot of what happens in football. Barcelona is still the ideal place for many people, but Barcelona now has found itself in a position where, even though it's still desirable, its bargaining power has decreased because of what has happened to Barcelona in the last 3 to 4 years. So it's still highly desirable, but it doesn't have the same cachet that it used to have at the bargaining table, because so much has changed in terms of Barcelona's influence, financial position, and all of these things. So there are many variables that are working against Barcelona, but at the same time, Barcelona, the name brand Barcelona, is still desirable for players. It is not the players who are raising up the cost, It is not the players who are saying, I need more money, It is the clubs that are selling to Barcelona that are driving up the cost, not the player.
Let me give
No,
you
I'm talking about the player salary. Player salary.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead, Cranky.
So
Yeah, because
the initial attraction for Barcelona was twofold. One's about the club, its legacy, the city, but most importantly, how much they paid. Most people. Devon Madrid were paying the most, even more than Premier League team. Man U pays a lot too, right? And now City's paying a lot, and Chelsea's paying a lot. So it was about salary. If you look at the Barcelona player salary, whether it's the legacy players or the Coutinhos of the world, it's ridiculous money.
Yeah.
Right? Missing what, 100 million a year?
no, let me give you just the first.
No. We're talking about before then.
No, man. Cranky,
Ahead,
I'm going to give, and don't, just keep your point because I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to give you the weekly salary for just the 10 players. De Jong, weekly, 560,000 euros. Then Sergio Busquets, 423,000 euros. Jordi Alba, 400,000 euros. Robert Lewandowski, 360,000 euros. Pjanic, 300,000 euros. Ansu Fati, 268,000 euros. Dembele, 264,000 euros. Kessie, who they just signed, 260,000. These are weekly salaries. Rafinha, 240,000 euros. Aubameyang, 220,000 euros. Piqué, 200,000 euros. That's just like 10 of the players.
Some of those players took pay cuts. But anyway, the point is they pay the most. Plus, Barcelona is a beautiful city to live in. Not as cloudy and melancholy as England, for example. Don't live in Manchester. There's not in Manchester to live. You want to live in Barcelona, close to the water, brilliant place, beautiful people, and you're getting paid ridiculous money. And the club has a lot of attraction. The club has assets. The club doesn't have any money. The club have naming rights. The club have goodwill. The club have a lot of stuff we can sell out, which is selling off now. But the club has been poorly run financially. I don't have to double your salary to come play for me. I can give you 120% of what you used to make until you come into Barcelona.
Right, you think, all right, as good as them say, Frankie, this is why I'm questioning. If everybody wants to play for you, you don't need to offer them all that money. That's why I say supply and demand. A guy like Frankie Dia, if he left Ajax to come to England, any club in England, from the richest, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, none of them would pay him 500 and something thousand.
I agree with that statement.
But there's a reason why.
Hold on. Sauti, are you saying players don't want to play for Barcelona?
No.
Let me show you something too.
I think some players want to, but I think some players want to play for them. But I think this idea that them used to say once Barcelona want a player, the player jump and want to go. I think them convincing a lot of players with the exorbitant salaries.
Yeah, not only that. So each time you transfer, the agent gets a big cut. You've got to realize that agents sometimes move players so they can make money. You don't get money staying at the club a lot of times. You're not making a lot of money as an agent. You make money when players move. You got to cut the transfer fee. So that's also an incentive to go to Barcelona because they pay more than anybody else. The larger the amount of the transfer fee, the more money you make, the more money they're going to get.
All right,
unlike US, where the player pays the agent, in Europe, it's not the players who pay the agent.
Yeah, CC, what you're going to say now, CC?
Yeah, I'm saying to you that in England, remember, there's a reason why I think Barcelona, this started after Barcelona won their last Champions League. They messed up because they gave a bunch of guys some exorbitant deals. And
no, CC, that can't be after the Champions League. Because a lot of these players came in way after. Kessie just
what did I just say, management? It started when Barcelona won their last Champions League.
Okay.
When the election, when they changed president and everything. But what I'm saying is something. In La Liga, for example, in England, them have the dual TV rights and things. In England, it is shared equally amongst the Premier League teams. In La Liga, it is not so. The lion's share goes to Barcelona and Real Madrid. True. So you realize when they changed president and they changed a lot of stuff, after they won that Champions League, there were certain demands. Messi wanted certain things, Neymar wanted certain things, and then you had Suarez in the team. So they ended up paying Messi this big salary. The person who became president was never first choice, second choice, third choice. See, he automatically got a position that he was not even ready for. Some deals were made at that point in time when the president was set. So leading up to that, there's a bunch of transfers that they did that they ended up overpaying for a bunch of players because Neymar ended up leaving because they had thought that Neymar would have been the replacement for Lionel Messi. Neymar left. They gave Messi $1 million per week, $1 million per week, and then they bought Antoine Griezmann and gave him 800,000 per week, which was one of the biggest mistakes. And then after that, every single player that came in, if a man go Barcelona, he wants to go, but he realized that Barcelona is willing to fork up this cash. So I'm telling you that they went on a trajectory where because of the Champions League that they won, and they had to honor the agreement that they had with Lionel Messi because he wanted an increase. Then they sold Neymar, and Neymar wanted to stay.
I hear that.
Two things quickly.
Go ahead, Frank.
One is them live paycheck to paycheck. So when COVID hit, they got paycheck. Second of all, they didn't have no good accountant running their books. Two things: paycheck to paycheck and no good accountant. So when you spend what you make and you don't make any for a year and a half, 2 years, you're in trouble.
All right, let me say this. I hear the theory and I understand that CC. All right, so let me give you. Huh?
Just want to make a quick interjection.
Okay.
Addition, rather. I've also looked at the taxes that are paid in the different jurisdictions and how that sometimes influences salaries of players. So the last information I have in England, the players play around 38 to 39% in terms of taxes. Italy 45%, Spain 46%, Germany 50%, and France ranges between 35 to about 57. Sometimes it depends on which part of the country your team is based in. So I mean, depending on where you're playing as well, the jurisdiction, that could also influence the salary, the weekly salary, given what the taxes will do once a player gets paid.
Okay, so you're saying that the man who getting 500,000 as an example, 46% of that goes towards taxes.
Yeah.
No, it's more. In England, if you make over 150, I think you pay 45%, because you have to pay some tax for like pension. It's over 45% if you make over 150. It's a progressive tax rate. But in Europe in general, if you make over 150, you probably pay about half your salary in tax, more than half salary tax. In the
so
US,
really, the man like Obama Young maybe just be getting like 120,000 after taxes.
Yeah.
All
That's what you always hear them say.
But man, I'm gonna tell you something after you make your point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's what you always hear them say, man. They got a tax effect this, meaning sometimes the team will sort of cover the taxes. So in essence, you're getting almost double what you're supposed to be getting.
That is what I'm thinking is happening with Barcelona, because the salaries are ridiculous. I'm going to tell you why. Obama Young was going to leave Arsenal for free. He wasn't going to play. So the fact that he wanted to leave, Arsenal wasn't going to play him. He wanted to play football. The only reason why you'd offer him the same money or close to the same money that Arsenal was giving him is because of the taxes. In other words, when the taxes come out, you get 120, which is actually less than what he was getting at Arsenal.
No, so, but we paid him off, management. We paid him off too.
Yeah, but Key said the other guy who came in, like when you look at this is what Southie is saying. If the players want to come to you,
right,
the only reason why the salary is this high, if the tax argument is true. So it's really because half of the money goes into tax.
I don't agree, management. I think in Barcelona, they just overpay people. So think about it. If I'm paying you £500,000 a week, in England, you have made $250. You still got to pay 50% in tax in England. Still only getting one something in England. In Barcelona, you got to get two something. They paid. They didn't have any sense of financial concept of how you manage money.
Isn't there financial fair play?
That applies. That one applies to something.
They were making the money. No, they were making the money to justify it because they had a lot of money they made from gate receipts and other sources that covered the expenses. When COVID hit, they weren't making any money as they used to.
Because remember, them have the biggest stadium in the world in a football. But look at it like this, to Mannings. Remember me that tell you, Messi was getting £256,000 per week the season before. after tax. After them win the Champions League, Messi was getting 540-something thousand pounds per week. Everybody's salary end up going up on something. And Messi had 4 years left on his contract. So why would you give a player who have 4 years left on his contract 540,000 pounds per week?
Because he was going to leave.
I think he would have some clause where them renew every year or something like that.
Yeah, you understand? And then Neymar, when Suarez was getting 200,000, Suarez went up to like 300 and something thousand. So I'm telling you that they see after that Champions League, it seems like they went down this rabbit hole where and Suarez had 5 years left on his deal, cranky. All of these players that I'm telling you, had a substantial amount of years left on their deal. To me, I'm not approaching the negotiating table with you unless you have 2 years left on your deal.
No, you can't say CC. But I think, like Sauti said, there were clauses in their contract that they could have probably left. They could have opted out.
Nah, I don't think so. I think what happened.
Messi had that.
No, Messi had a clause. I don't think that's. I think Barcelona just paid you so much money. Why would you want to go there? It's a city you want to live in, and I'm paying you so much money. What can any other team offer you in terms of where I live, how I live, and financial compensation? Why I wouldn't want to go to, and they have a pedigree of success. They're in the Champions League. They're a great team. Why wouldn't I want to go there?
You see the story that came out today about them on the TV rights that them claim themselves the other day?
No, I haven't seen it.
Because they did say they sold the TV right to
they sold themselves 25% of them La Liga rights for 25 years for 667 million. Right? So that was part of what them present as. But now it come out today that the people who them sell the rights to at somebody named Six Streets is actually a third company Barcelona set up with 60, and that is who them sell the rights to. And Barcelona never actually get $667 million for the 25% of the right. Them get 517 million from Sixth Street, and Barcelona invest the remaining 150 euros into the new company, the third company. So, but the 150 that Barcelona invests in the company, them amortize it over 25 years. So them put it on them accounting like say, them actually get 667 million, but them pay themselves 150 out of that 600. And them amortize it over 25 years. So them books show that them only spending 6 million. Them spend 6 million for this year. You understand? Because them put it over 25 years.
A lot of these have to be amortized because if you're getting something over 25 years, you're not getting all the cash. You don't get the cash up front.
No, but while them sure that them spend 6 million because them amortize the 25 million.
Right.
On the other side, them are sure so them gain 150.
Right.
Which
so
is they're
not matching up debits and credits, right?
But listen to the rest of this now. Listen to the rest of this. The money now exists. That's what I'm saying.
That's the question I'm going to ask you, Salty, which is.
But hold on. So them saying it may be legal, It may be legal in accounting and stuff. But Barcelona never consult with La Liga for find out if La Liga accept that as part of them finances getting better. So now La Liga saying no, them not accepting that, and that is why them can't register the players them bring in the other day.
Because they don't have the money.
Any of those players at the disposal.
Huh?
They're in more trouble than I thought they were in.
Yeah.
It's even worse than I thought, if that's the case.
So that means that mean they don't have the $500 million any at all then?
No, it was a paper transaction. It's a paper transaction. It's not an actual. Is it a paper transaction? Not an actual transaction.
No. Them get the 500 million from the company who them set up the third party company with. So that company's share was 517 million euro. And Barcelona's share is 150, but Barcelona actually putting a 150 in it.
No, I'm confused, Salty. So here's what I'm confused about. So if you're saying they set up a company Is there a third party company involved in this?
Yeah. Barcelona, remember in a Barcelona report that they sold 25% of their TV rights to a company named Six Streets.
Right.
For 667 million euros. But now it come out, so what they actually did was them and Six Streets set up a third company.
Okay. So there's apart from Sixth Street, there is a next company. That is the third.
That is Barcelona and Six Streets. And Six Streets didn't actually pay 667 million for the rights. Them pay 570. And the other 150 come from Barcelona itself into the third company.
Okay, so that is how that third company would have the 600
that is how them have the 667 million. That Barcelona then go to La Liga, so them get this 667.
Yeah, they're playing it. But here's the thing. Why did they have to report that when they already had the 150? You already had the 150.
No, because then them get based on them accounting, because them amortize the 150 over 5 years. Them get to report the 150 as income, move it from, them get to report it as new income, and then take 6 million out of it and use that as expenditure. Because 6 times 25 is 150, you know.
No,
so them are
came before as income. The one
yes.
No.
It is income. It is income because it is part of the 667 where them are show, so them raise for the TV rights at themselves.
That's not accounting. So if I give you
that's right. Hold on. That is exactly what you're saying is the reason why now they are not allowed to register the players.
Yeah, that's weird because as Cranky is saying, for every debit there's an equal and opposite credit. You can't have a debit and a debit that reconciles an account. You have to.
So what they had was this: they had two credits. Here we say they have two credits. They have a 150 credit and a 500 credit.
Yeah.
The item should be cash or a receivable, right?
Yeah.
So they balance out. The problem you have with the income is when you record the income, you're gonna take a portion of that. So it's a debit and a credit, but the credit is not all income. The credit is liability until you earn the income. So you debit cash, you credit the liability. When you earn the income, you debit the liability, and you're gonna when you earn the income,
you reduce your cash. You reduce your
income and debit the liability.
Yeah.
When you earn the income, so it doesn't really work the way you're saying it. It can't.
All right, listen what the article said. This money, of course, didn't exist. It was merely accounting trick.
Exactly.
Hold on. Such tricks may or may not be legal, but La Liga nevertheless has its own rules and regulations and refused to consider this as a proper income for the salary limit calculation. This is why they still can't register their new signings. The cherry on top is that this will be classified as capital gains, which means they would have to pay capital gains tax, which is around 23% in Spain. So Barcelona would end up paying about 34.5 million extra to the government for trying and failing to do an accounting trick, which they didn't even bother checking whether La Liga would allow it or not.
But if it's capital,
wow. We should move from out of Spain and come back into England because I think England is not suffering from those kind of issues. I mean, in England,
one last thing about
England, Barcelona would have been put in administration.
Okay. One last thing about Barcelona. If Barcelona was Celta Vigo or Getafe or something, like Barcelona, I'm a second team. If Barcelona was Celta Vigo or Getafe or something, they would have get punished. Like whichever way them punish, them would have punished them. But Barcelona is like a too big to fail type of thing. Them a deal.
Which
like
is
a
what
too
CC was saying earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a too big to fail. So people them a try everything to make Barcelona survive. Because normally, as you say in England, a club like this would probably get some points deduction and
administration, right?
Yeah. But Barcelona,
not really. Look at Chelsea.
Here's the worst part about this.
No, Chelsea is different. It's not the same.
Let Cracky go ahead.
Here's the worst part about all this, guys. So I don't have any money. I'm broke. And I'm still buying players for exorbitant. You gotta let's think about it. I'm broke. I don't have a credit card. My credit card doesn't work anymore.
I'm
My
paying
credit card
for
is now
service.
is in default, and I'm still buying players and parking them.
But listen, it's not like you have your credit card and your credit card not working and you go buy some cars, you know. You're buying top of the line cars. It's not like them a buy top of the line player. Like, no, me or Bernardo Silva is the next one.
But here's the thing about Sophie.
Because-
Did they pay anybody yet who they bought? Did they pay? I think Bayern asked for the money up front. Did they pay?
Well, the owner for Leeds just do an interview and say him don't get a penny. And if him don't get some money back for Rafinha, if him don't get some money by September 2nd, it's going to be a global case. So him have September 2nd as his deadline to get some money.
There's no void. There's no global. The player has to return to his parent team.
Really? That can happen?
No void contract. It can't catch him if
Okay,
you don't pay him.
that's why I'm saying September 2nd because the window closed September 1st.
So the player can actually come back.
Because you still in the contract, you gotta pay me a certain amount of money and I haven't paid you. You don't have a contract.
Right. So that's why the guy say if them don't get some money by September 2nd.
But is he going to be re-registered at Leeds?
No, but he has not yet been registered in La Liga.
Nobody's been registered.
He hasn't been registered in La Liga.
No, but don't they have to deregister?
No,
You have to get clearance. You have to get the international clearance certificate. RSA could not have been there. There's an international clearance that they have to get to be at the next club because you can't go there without the medical and that. So that means
there are obvious clauses in these contracts that if you breach your contract, then the parent club will have rights to the player. Whether or not the player will be able to play in the English Premier League immediately after.
It is possible that him can come back to Leeds if they get the money, and him still not play until January or so.
Exactly, until they can re-register him.
And then if you ever go to the World Cup, you can't play or you get picked for your World Cup team. Because everybody focus on World Cup now. People are making move just because of World Cup. It's going to be very messy.
Yeah, that's why I tell you, say him jump down to Barcelona when there's a time when Jesus moved down to Arsenal because he want to go a World Cup and go start in a World Cup. When everybody make moves because of this World Cup, you don't run that.
Listen, what I'm saying, all right, what I don't understand is that, so Lewandowski is going to Barcelona. He hears of all of this. They promise him a salary. Where does he think the salary is coming from? If the club that he's coming from has not been paid for him.
Lewandowski got his feelings hurt. So he decided to leave Bayern. They wanted Haaland. He got his feelings hurt. He doesn't want to play for them. Everybody loves Barcelona. He goes to Barcelona. Then he's going to work it out.
Remember, him have him agent and them have meetings and they might fly to Barcelona and the Barcelona president, when name Laporte and them people them probably tell them things where make it sound good. Them probably tell them things that make it sound.
Them out some money, we don't know.
Yeah, and tell them everything is okay. You will be registered by September. You will play. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And then based on that, a man might decide, say, I go there because him get assurances. The man can lie to them in meetings still, you know. But
so why this American guy, even Dest, remember he had so many teams linked to him. Why these guys don't leave? That's the next thing.
I mean, no leave. It's Barcelona property. They got to sell him first. He's on the market, by the way.
And at the same time, when a player leave, players, him on the market, him people might want him, but suppose him not offer the same money when I pull at Barca.
But I don't think he's getting it. That is the thing. I don't think they are being paid.
That's why sometimes they don't. No, them get them pay, man.
Yeah, man, the players get their salary. We haven't done anything.
They all have deferred salary.
Not the young. Obviously, they're not paying the young.
No.
The young. They're paying the total amount.
No. The young gets his salary, but the young they defer some money from the
time when they talk about cut deal and all kind of something.
Yeah, from the pandemic. Right, he put out some money. He put out some money to get some money from the back end. And now they wanted to leave. And he said, no, I'm not leaving until you give me this money when you agree that you're going to give me on the back.
I think there were 3 players that want to carry that court.
Enough money. 70 million.
There were 3 players. But they want to carry
lot of money. Yeah. You'd walk away from 17 million euro.
Right now, if me at Chelsea, me tell De Jong, say, here we go on. Me at Barcelona, we give you 50 mil. I'm going to give De Jong 17 mil. And we call it a judge.
Guy, I have to be soon. I'm going to say this. I think it's much more complicated than that. The media is speculating. De Jong hasn't said anything. the young agent haven't said anything. They are speculating about the rationale as to why he doesn't want to leave. He's only going to Man U. He wants to stay at Barca. It's about money. They're just speculating. We don't know. But I hope it gets all resolved because I like Barcelona also.
No, because the president of Barcelona did say that though. He did say they want him to stay, but they must cut some money. He said that when they was in the US last week, when they interviewed him.
Sophie, you can't believe how war the president of Barcelona is saying. Every day his story changes. It's a legal contract that he has. We don't want to sell him. What they negotiate with Man U at the same time. I think Man U will be in Barcelona 24/7 for the last 3 months if he wasn't being told they want to sell him. He's talking about service now. Anyway, I got some good night, guys. I gotta go to sleep.
Hey, thank you. I hope you wake up to go to work early.
I hope so too.
The thing about Barcelona is that they are like a political organization, and because they have elections every 4 years, different regime take over, like in our country we have PNP and JLP and stuff, and different regime take over and run the club one way, and the next regime come in and I try to fix it, and but at the same time while this person I try to fix it, he might try to put himself in the good graces of the people who are going to vote in the next election, and it's all.
One thing I can say.
Listen, I always wonder how Barcelona pays its players and how like PSG is able to pay Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi.
PSG is different money.
Listen, but you see
FIFA fair play rules.
No, but you see the example of Chelsea, where if you have a rich owner, or if you have the financial cachet backing the club, a lot of times the money that comes into the club is not necessarily quote unquote the cleanest money. It is money that will come into the club from nefarious sources, washed into the system, and what's the best way to wash your money? Pay the players. Pay players hefty salaries. You make by that money in terms of TV rights. You make by that money in terms of product sales. When Messi came to PSG, for example, in a week or 2 weeks, is jerseys. The sale of Messi gears alone grossed more than any other player was been at PSG. So it's really a money making business. Don't watch what the players are getting. It's what the owners are able to do with the club to move their money in and move their money out.
Yeah. Somebody saying that Catalonia wanted to annex itself from Spain. The club's no different. Think it's above the law.
Yeah, that's part of the thing too, because Barcelona represent the Catalan people and the whole politics in Spain and everything. That's why Barcelona them can't make it fair. It represent a region of Spain that want independence from the rest of Spain, you know. So if Barcelona fail the region, they fail, you know. That whole political region fail.
Catalonia fail.
Yeah, it can represent a failure of the Catalan people if Barcelona fail. I mean, so you can adjust the football.
The same thing, but the thing with the financial fair play, I think what persons you realize, I think because of the pandemic, to them say clubs are before they had 70%, you can only spend 70% of your revenue on wages and salaries and them something there. But now they must say, you can go up to like I think 80%, 90%. But then there's this caveat that says depending on how much you spend over the limit, if the ownership can cover the losses. So there's a whole lot of factors in it. I think a lot of persons are jumping at it and saying, what is financial fair play and what is the purpose of financial fair play if all of these clubs are spending all these is monies and it's not accounted for. So
I don't have much faith in that. It's like clubs find all kind of creative ways
to go around it. There you go. City do the same thing, man.
Yeah.
And Chelsea.
City create company and sponsor themselves and all.
When what's his name? Chelsea owner was just leaving. You never know how much money himself lend the company.
Yeah, 1.6. Something like 1.6 billion.
Yeah, what? So what the club has been operating?
No, but Mannings, that's nothing is wrong. All right.
Oh, you mean
nothing is wrong with you putting in money in a year.
No,
something.
you're not putting it money in
No.
there. Man, say,
No, the financial fair play thing said the club supposed to operate on the revenue that it generates.
created it. There you go.
That's it said.
And
So the owner lending the club money is not money that the club generates.
there you go.
Not money that.
So let me ask you a question.
So basically, what the owner do is putting money from other businesses who him have into the club and writing it down as loan. So
There you
the
go.
financial fair play to me is it not mean.
Well, I don't see nothing wrong with if you as
No,
owner
because
and
of your
team
club.
and loan and team money.
Because of your club.
No, because you're
No.
owner and I'm not telling you, you're owner. Now put no money in your side like that alone your club no money.
No, PC. Nothing might not wrong with it from how we are look panic as a theme club. But we are talking about financial fair play and what it says it's supposed to be. And if what it says it's supposed to be, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I say the financial fair play to me is foolish.
And Chelsea was not paying back the man the money. It's not like
Yes. You must go answer that.
So unlike Arsenal, when the crankies put money by loan, the club pays it back. So there is a difference. It's a loan that is not from the bank at a lower interest rate, but they are paying it back. When Roman was putting in money, it's not for them to pay back. It's just because he might lose the club. Now him say, well, it was written as a loan, so we need to get back the money. But if he was still owning the club, it would not come up CC. So it's a completely different thing.
No, it wouldn't come up. You know what happened? The amount of that increase. Financial fair play is foolishness.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuances with it still. So I just
The big teams them now get punished.
remember in a Saudi, one team I probably hire a field, a room, a accountant to say, oh, we can evade this. So no man, and then two of the teams, right now we have two teams in the Premier League that is state-owned. And then we have one over France who is state-owned. Newcastle is state-owned, Man City is state-owned.
Is what?
State-owned.
Yeah.
Man
PSG.
City, Newcastle, PSG.
Yeah.
Country own them place there.
3 different countries.
One them team.
All of them have oil.
Yeah. One to Leicester City. Is not the
guy who, in family, the guy who died. And
yeah.
No, he's not. He was just like a successful businessman.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's late we are, so listen, this is the first review show for the week. Fiery. It was good, it was fiery. It was
you forgot
it was
you
informative.
have to start a little earlier to accommodate me and Crunkis.
Yeah. So we're going to have to start it from 7:30 instead because but I'm going to be that side for the next one still. So
it's only because maybe me can sleep a little later than Cranky.
Yeah, man, but I'm going to next week Monday. I'm going to be there, so it will be easy. I'll be on your same time.
Yeah, in the city.
Will I be in that city on the Monday? No, I will be I will be in Philly at that time on the Monday.
You come for them little game with them have with Harborview and somebody you're there them time.
Yeah. But me I go to Florida first, and then me I've got to check on the youth them because them there Delaware and them will come over.
Oh, I might go to that game go look what I go on. Because the guy, I might go to that game and see what I go on. That's Labor Day, September 3rd.
Yeah, so we'll see. All right, CC, respect. You understand me?
Respect CC and management and your listeners and viewers. Yeah?
All right.
Don't watch a nice now. Don't watch a nice now, man.
All right, son. Liverpool, you see again.
Man, always, man. A long time I follow Liverpool, so basically to me, it's good for them win, but me no need for them win to follow it.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Yeah,
I follow all through the joke and everything.
Yeah.
All right, bless up, man. See you again.
Yeah, man. But Toughy Rudy, Wednesday. I'm gonna be there for a while. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna be over your side, tough Rudy. I don't know. We link up, man. I will shout you and let you know. Yeah, gonna be there for a minute. You understand me? But we link up. I'll definitely let you know. Definitely let you know. Hey, Jarvis, remember to reach out to me tomorrow. All right, people, bless up. Thanks for being with us for almost 3 hours. Whoa. But it was all good, man. Blessings, respect to you all. This has been I Am Sure Sports. Yes, this has been the Premier League review show. Listen, if you have a fan of the Premier League, send them the video, man. Let them watch it and come join the family. You understand me? Bless up to all of you. I am Mannings, man. Thanks to all the panelists, all the persons in the comment section, all the moderators, all the subscribers, all the viewers. Respect. So have yourself a wonderful rest of the night until we meet again. Tomorrow you'll be seeing Pioneer. He has some awesome track and field stuff that he's going to be sharing with you. So as usual, we say, our man is man. This is I Am Sure Sports, and we are over and we are out.
Watch about dog, SK New heard this. The body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocherase, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha! Yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.